Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast. And we got a big one for you today.
Oh, yeah.
WrestleMania is this weekend. We're going to be talking about all you want to hear about WrestleMania, NXT, the Hall of Fame, and WrestleMania itself. We'll also mention UFC 223 because that happens this weekend. But we're going to focus really on WrestleMania. We're going to predict, we're going to talk about, we're going to debate, we're going to do everything. So to start off the show, first off, we'll start with that I'm Nick Nenad, and I'm with Eric.
What's happening?
And the RKJ Man is not here yet. He is currently looking for his wallet over in outside the studio. He found it. He's just waiting for someone to get it over to him. But so for the first couple minutes of the podcast, the RKJ Man is not here, but he will make his entrance. He'll make his entrance and have a big pop when he shows up.
Don't worry, you're going to get a Ryan Rance
today.
You
will get a Ryan Rance. He will show up in the next couple minutes. But, hey, it's me and you, Eric, to start the show today. And we got, obviously, a lot to talk about with WrestleMania.
That is true.
We'll start off with this. What are you most excited about to see this Sunday at WrestleMania?
Well, this Sunday at WrestleMania, and I've been thinking about this here when I was actually getting here to the studio. I was thinking to myself, well, you know what? I think the only match to me that matters, is AJ Styles and Nakamura. Of course, that match, I believe, is going to steal the show. They've been going at it since Japan, and now they're going to go at it in the grander scale, which is WrestleMania, the biggest stage of them all. And, looking at the women's division, I would say Asuka and Charlotte. I think that's a match that I want to see, since these two have been pretty dominant. They've been a dominant force to be reckoned with. And, I know for a fact that I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on this one due to the fact that we're going to be having Triple H and Stephanie McMahon teaming up to go up against Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Now, keep in mind that this is the first wrestling match that Ronda Rousey will be participating in, and the pressure's on because this is WrestleMania, and for her to be in this match, she's gonna have to really step it up, because a lot of pressure, not only pressure for her, but a lot of pressure for all the other performers inside the squared circle. So, yeah, if you're not a WWE fan or a wrestling fan in general, I believe that a lot of these non-wrestling fans and a lot of these UFC fans, they're actually going to be subscribing.
Yeah,
they're curious.
I think so too. I think there's going to be some buys from the non-casual fans.
Yeah, the fans who will say that, oh yeah, wrestling's fake and all that. Well, guess what? They're still going to be watching it. Okay, they want to be curious. They want to see how Rousey's going to do it.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're a fair weather wrestling fan, this is the event you want to see, because this is the best you're going to get. There is an enormous amount of good matches on this card. I think you can agree with me on that. It just seems like they've built like 6 or 7 main events, which they haven't done in the past. There's a lot of good matches on this card. No,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I know for a fact that with Cena and Undertaker, even though that match was scheduled to be in it, but there's been reports that it is gonna happen. It's just that this.
Yeah, it's a question, man. We don't know what's gonna happen with that match.
That's the thing. It's Cena, like you said, he doesn't mind going to WrestleMania as a fan. But the thing is with this guy is that with the Undertaker, I feel that the creative, they wanna, and I've been hearing reports about this, and I do believe it's Dave Meltzer who confirmed this. He said that Undertaker will be there. He will be there. We're not sure if this is just a one-time deal or he's going to be doing something else after this. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be part of that greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I thought I saw that he was scheduled for that.
Okay, so this isn't a one-time deal. We're going to be seeing more of the Dead Man, this year. So I'm thrilled for that. And WrestleMania with Cena Undertaker, it's going to happen.
That's a damn good match if it happens. I mean, and I'm excited about a lot for this WrestleMania. I think, though, if I had to state what I'm most excited about, there's 2 things. One, you want those legendary matchups. And I think that Cena-Undertaker matchup, if it does happen, is something that I will be very excited to watch. Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, like you mentioned, that's a legendary matchup. You don't get to see that every single day.
Right.
It's going to happen. I also just like to see the entrances, the clothing everyone wears. Like, I'm wondering, is Seth Rollins going to come out in the white? Is he going to come out in the gold? What's Ronda Rousey's ring gear going to look like? How extensive are Bobby Roode and Nakamura's entrances going to be? I'm excited about that, too, because you don't have a lot of pyro in WWE anymore.
They're going to be having pyro. They're going to be having pyro for this WrestleMania. And as far as entrances go, they always pull out the best entrances for WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Bobby Roode, of course, he's going to pull off. He's probably going to have choir. You know, if I was Bobby Roode, I'd have choir. What I'm more interested is are some of the superstars going to be changing some of their songs? Because
you know what's funny? I thought about that too. I think that would be more of something you'd probably do on the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania. Just because you've been built as this certain superstar with this certain theme leading up to WrestleMania. So if you were just to change it all of a sudden, at WrestleMania, it's a little different. Now, obviously, I think Triple H's theme is going to change. He's normally walked out to King of Kings leading up to this, but then he'll probably walk out to the game.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think that really counts necessarily, but I think if there's one change, that could be it. And hopefully we get the American Badass theme from The Undertaker, either Roland or American Badass from Kid Rock. But other than that, I don't expect too many entrance changes, because just they've kind of built these superstars with those themes. So I think it'd be weird if they necessarily changed it. You think we're going to see any bands?
Yeah, that was actually what I was going to talk about. I was going to say, yes, I'm pretty sure they're going to do that because every WrestleMania they always bring in bands to perform. But as far as maybe have Seth Rollins, if I was Seth Rollins, I'd contact a band to maybe cover his song because
that'd be cool.
That's because that song is more of a metalcore song. So he could contact anybody for guys like A Day to Remember or maybe Hatebreed or any of those guys to do a song for him. I mean, they maybe the same way how they did. I know, if I was Bobby Roode, they definitely do a choir. So I'm pretty sure Bobby Roode would have that covered. It's a little too late for Triple H for that to happen because, Lemmy, him passing away.
Yeah, unfortunately passed away. Yeah,
passed away.
We've seen that before, though.
Yeah, we've
seen
that
not,
before.
we've, I think it'd be, who could they have? Who could have an entrance that?
Well, due to the fact that NXT has gone to download festivals and they've gone out and performed in front of millions and millions of people out there and in front of so many bands out there to really a lot of bands out there they got to know Code Orange, Incinerary, Seven Dust. I know Baron Corbin. He contacts with a lot of the metal bands. He was actually voted for most metal superstar of the WWE.
It was a lot. Yeah. He did get that.
But definitely, if Baron Corbin could pull off a WrestleMania, well, it'd be a little impossible because for him, he's not in a singles match. He's
in the Andre the Giant, but I don't think they're pulling out a band for Andre the Giant.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they unfortunately, because a guy like Baron Corbin does have an actual song that is sung.
Yeah.
For his thing, and then, you know what the other thing is, you can just have the CFOs sing one of the songs if you want. I'm okay with that as long as I get to hear occasionally that live music at WrestleMania. And I'm sure we might hear Kid Rock do something at WrestleMania
He's probably
too.
Gonna do it, yeah.
So it's cool. And what would be awesome is if he did the Undertaker's theme. But I think
American Badass. Yeah.
I think more of we're gonna get a surprise at WrestleMania from the Undertaker. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But I really did hope that we were gonna get that American Badass character, but I'm going to be good either way. As long as they wrestle in a match, I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, he's keeping that mystique alive from Undertaker, so he's not going to be – I wouldn't say he's not going to be giving out that, I'm going to return as the American Badass or I'm going to return as a dead man. I'll just let you stay tuned and subscribe to the network and see what happens. He's pretty much going to say that, but definitely, Kid Rock will definitely do a song. Now, here's the thing. It's not since we're speaking of entrances.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, he's being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
Now, a lot of people who did tune into WCW when he came back in 1999, that song, it was titled "The Chosen One" because the first part of the song, the first intro was. the guy said the chosen one, and the song progressed, and it was actually a ripoff of Kid Rock's Cowboy song. Now, my question
that's
is,
interesting.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know
no.
that.
A lot of WCW music, they were all ripped off from licensed artists, except for Hogan's Voodoo Child.
Yeah.
That Eric Bischoff had to go through a lot to get that song.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
The RKJ
There he
Man.
is.
Thank God.
What's happening, man?
The RKJ Man has showed up in the studio.
Oh my goodness, the police did something right, y'all.
Nobody can hear him. That's why he's saying the police did something right. They found his wallet.
Yes.
They found his wallet.
Good man. Good
So,
man.
This is now the Ring Generals podcast with the RKJ Man. Now, let him talk. Let him speak his piece.
What's up, y'all? Let's talk that talk.
Yeah.
Finally.
Right.
Let's go.
So we're actually in the midst of I asked the question to Eric. I posed the question, what are you most excited about WrestleMania? And we've now got into the entrances and what we expect, if we're going to see any bands, if we're going to see that. So if you want to, what do you? Okay, well we'll ask you the question. What are you most excited about this WrestleMania?
I'm excited about seeing the set. The set's
See,
always
that's
cool.
That's a good. Yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah.
stage. Although the last WrestleMania in New Orleans, it wasn't anything special.
No, but last year's WrestleMania was
last
special.
year they had a
Yeah.
freaking roller
That long
coaster.
ramp, that
Yeah,
ramp.
they had a roller coaster. I'm also excited about seeing. Let's see. I'm excited about seeing the. Well, I like the entrances. I'm excited. I want to see the celebrities. Who's going to be
Yeah,
there?
that's a
Who's the
good point.
celebrities?
Maria Menounos.
Yeah, Maria Menounos is gonna be there, you know that.
No.
Is she even considered a celebrity in WWE anymore? I think she's part of it.
She's
Yeah.
legitimately part of it, but I don't want to hear her talk or announce because her announcing's awful.
She's in the
Like
Hall.
that announcement for that Women's Royal Rumble with the first two
yeah.
entrants, it was god awful.
Her combined with Stephanie McMahon on the commentary was not the best for the women's evolution. Let's say
Revolution, evolution, Me Too movement, whatever you want to call it, man. It wasn't the best. Good God.
No, yeah, definitely, man. She's actually going to be in the Hall of Fame, so she's going to be presenting the red carpet because now they made this little red carpet for the Hall of Fame.
That's stupid.
Yeah, like the Oscars.
It's professional wrestling. What are we doing? Doing red
Yeah,
carpet,
stop it, man.
Oscars,
So we just-
Emmys. Like it's professional wrestling.
Yeah, we
Like-
get that the Bellas and all of them are on their TV show and they're on their reality show, but yeah, we don't need no damn red carpet for the Hall of Fame.
If anything, you should do that for the Slammy Awards.
Oh,
you should do
that's a
it.
good-
Yeah,
exactly.
like you should
That's
do
a
that for the
great
Slammy
idea.
Awards.
Yeah.
Like, why are we doing this for the Hall of Fame? Like, oh yeah, red carpet. And you know what's sad? Red carpets are outside. They usually do it inside. It's like what the like. What, like
Well, but I don't mind that as much. I mean, it would be cool, but you wonder how many people would actually show up to a Hall of Fame red carpet parade.
I tell you, when we go to WrestleMania, the one thing I'm skipping out on is the red carpet. I would much rather go party on that Friday night.
There is no
or
red
it-
carpet. There's no red
or-
carpet to go to.
Well, Hall of Fame, that Hall of Fame ceremony thing. There's no reason to go to that. The
Well,
Hall of Fame is
yeah, you can
completely
just
over
watch.
it.
You just watch the speeches
I
later.
watch that on the
I agree
network.
with
I would
that.
go to NXT. I would go to WrestleMania. I would go to WrestleCon. I'll be all over the place.
WrestleCon.
I don't think you can go to WrestleCon. I feel like it's probably during the NXT show.
No, it's during the day too.
It's during
on
the day.
Friday,
During the day.
Saturday. I
It's
think
a-
did WrestleCon start today?
It's a 3-day weekend. It's Friday through Sunday.
Oh yeah, today's Thursday. Yeah.
today's Thursday.
Well, WrestleMania Access starts today. I have
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
to be at
it's-
WrestleMania Access.
yeah, it should be this. I think it should be today. WrestleMania Access.
hmm
Yeah.
But I haven't heard. I've heard mixed reviews about WrestleMania Access.
It's a normal convention.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't go to it when I went to WrestleMania 26, but there was an atmosphere around downtown Phoenix that there was a lot of wrestling fans all over the place. So
Oh really?
it was, and I did go the night before WrestleMania, so it was a little different. There didn't used to be an NXT show
Yeah.
back then. So, but there was definitely a buzz. I remember we went to a restaurant across the street from the arena where they were having Raw and all that stuff and the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I remember there was just tons of wrestling fans everywhere, even during a Suns game. Like there was just tons of wrestling fans.
Yeah, there's always a buzz in whichever city that WrestleMania will be in. There's
Yeah.
always going to be that buzz. It's kind of like the Super Bowl or, March Madness or whatnot.
Exactly.
The city is going to get a lot of money. But I'm also excited to see if we're going to get any special surprises. Like I've been hearing a lot of rumors. Young Bucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
hearing
the
the
number
Young
one
Bucks?
rumor.
I've heard the number one rumor.
I've heard The
being-
Rock might show up.
I've heard the. I
I
don't think
don't
the
think
Rock.
so.
I don't think the Rock's gonna show up. Now, like I said, like we
You
predicted
never know. Yeah.
a month ago, it would be great if the Rock and Elias could do a
No.
promo segment together.
That'd be great, but right now The Rock is too busy tied with the new movie Rampage. That's
Hey, but
coming
you know
out.
what's funny? He's a guy that will travel like Cena. I think he could still fly
he could
to
still
New
make it.
Orleans and show up
private jet.
and then just leave after an hour.
Yeah, he
right?
could just
Yeah.
leave. He could just show up. He could just do his lines, just like WrestleMania 30. Just show up,
all he needs
do
to
his
do.
lines really quick, and then just memorize his lines, and go out there, renege on the lines because he's The Rock, because he has a live microphone, and then get the hell up out.
Well, what happens?
Like,
what happens if he does it via satellite, like he always does?
I
He'll
don't know
get
if that-
booed out. He'll get booed out of the
I don't
building
think he'll
like
get. I
Roman
don't think
Reigns.
he's not gonna get
He'll
booed.
get booed.
He's not gonna get booed.
Nah,
but people are
man.
gonna be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing the.
He's
via
gonna- he's gonna
satellite.
be
no
like,
more via satellite.
I'm rooting.
Man.
The Rock is rooting for Roman Reigns, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna
That'd be
whoop
terrible.
Brock Lesnar's ass tonight.
That would be terrible if he did that. He just
and then people
put
are
over Roman Reigns.
and then people are
via
booing.
satellite.
People are booing when he mentions Roman Reigns, and he's like, "Whoa, tough crowd here in New Orleans."
I mean, he couldn't even get Roman Reigns over. And when he won the Royal
100%
Rumble,
he could.
he couldn't even get Roman Reigns over. Rock can't do miracles, man.
no,
Rock ain't a miracle maker.
Rocky might be as human, man. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see that. I'm hearing Young Bucks. I'm hearing. I want to see if there's any surprises. I'm hearing apparently Shane McMahon could turn heel on Daniel Bryan, and they could lose the match. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our predictions of
Exactly,
the
yeah,
matches.
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I think overall WrestleMania, it's just the pageantry, just everything about WrestleMania is it's something special. I'm just not excited about 7 hours of that thing. I can't.
Yeah. You're
I'm
gonna
gonna talk a little bit
we're gonna
about
be
it on
hearing
Riot
about that.
Rants.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of good content later in the show.
Yeah.
So there's some good stuff that's gonna
I wanna-
happen. So
now I
we're not
wanna-
gonna dive into it all right now.
I want
but-
to know how you're gonna top this rant over last week's rant.
Well, yeah, you've had two good rants in a row. So
I think all of them have been great.
well, but the last two have
I've
specifically-
hit my stride.
The diction
I
has
thi-
been fantastic.
I think I've hit my stride, sir.
Your
Yeah.
shot was actually pretty good last week.
I'm shooting my shot at greatness. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So okay. So
well, we were explaining, we were
okay.
discussing before you'd found your wallet and got back in the studio and made
Thank
your
God.
surprise entrance that got a good pop from
good,
the,
man.
the,
Yeah,
the audience.
you should have saw me, man. I was cussing. I was like, what?
He was
the
mad.
fuck?
Yeah, he was mad. But you should have seen him before the podcast. He was mad. He was
And
looking
I
for
was
his
thinking
wallet.
about my mom the whole time, like, Ryan, why didn't you put your phone or your wallet in your freaking jacket? I'm not even gonna tell her that happened.
Yeah,
Like, it's
there's
gonna
no
happen.
reason. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Unless she listens to the podcast.
Oh,
Now
she
knows.
listens to the
Yeah.
podcast.
We made sure to
But
mention
first-
in the first 30 seconds. We made sure to mention that you were looking for your
Yeah,
wallet too.
Ryan's out here looking for his wallet. Okay.
A little bit of live here for the show.
Yeah.
So we don't get
Yeah.
that a lot. Normally it's just us. But
Yeah.
no, before you came in, we were discussing. Do we expect any bands to play entrances or any customized
No.
entrances? It was hard for us to come up with something too.
I don't think. I mean, the only reason why they had that ban for John Cena in Florida is because there's a band called FAMU.
Oh no, I'm saying like
like
Triple H with Motorhead and
Well,
and
no.
POD doing
I think
yeah.
I think what you'll get is a lot of because it's New Orleans, and you'll get a lot of mystic entrances, like Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. You'll get a lot of those things. I think will see the demon character Finn Balor come out.
Do you think
Somebody
I don't think that- I don't
somebody
think
said
that's gonna
that.
happen.
I think it's gonna happen. I think on the biggest stage of them all, this is his first WrestleMania. He's got to take advantage of the opportunity
That's true. This is
to try to at least do something special. And I think if anybody has a special entrance, in my opinion, that pretty much gives it away that they're gonna win the match.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Well, Nakamura is gonna have.
most of the time, unless you're Triple H.
Yeah.
mean,
I was just gonna say that.
I
was
think
like, yeah,
I
yeah.
think somebody is gonna perform for Nakamura.
Lee England Jr.
Yeah, Lee England Jr. I believe that he's gonna be there.
Is that
He's
the
gonna-
guy that does the violin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there to perform Nakamura's theme song. Seth Rollins, if I was him, I'd get one of the metalcore bands to perform for his
he
song.
was saying that. I think that'd be pretty cool if someone did Seth Rollins' song live.
His music is not cool enough though to be performed. I mean,
yeah.
his music ain't cool enough. So if his music was cool enough, then I'll be like, yeah.
If you had someone scream "Burn It Down," though,
that actually,
would be pretty cool.
That's actually okay.
Or you have somebody burn it down, like literally something's burning.
Right.
I think
you
that will
literally
happen,
have something burning.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here's the thing with the song with Seth Rollins. It's one thing hearing it on TV, it just sounds so generic, but like when you're in the arena like we were, it actually does get you going.
Pops.
It pops, but as far as the song goes, I feel that it is too generic and not really cool. Except for that "Burn It Down" scream. That was actually to spice things up a little bit, which is pretty cool. I just hope that they would get one of his favorite bands to perform for maybe a different song for him, and then maybe just to use it for that one time, and then he can go back to using his.
Yeah, but I was
explaining
explaining to Eric. They've kind of they've billed and booked wrestlers leading up into this WrestleMania with a certain theme, so I doubt they'd change their theme for WrestleMania. Like, the only one that is going to change is Triple H, because he's going to go from the King of Kings to the Game.
Yeah.
He's not going to walk out the King of Kings. So that's the only change I think we'll see as far as an entrance theme, and then you might see a band or whatever do someone else's, and it will sound a little different. But I think I think the way if you're billing a guy with a certain theme leading up to WrestleMania, you're probably not going to change it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would. I don't think you would debut anything new, unless you truly, truly need it. I remember I talked to you a little bit about this before I discovered that, I didn't have my wallet anymore. The Usos, they call themselves the Uso Penitentiary. I saw this. Somebody said, hey, what about if they actually came out like with prisoners?
I
and,
would
like,
love that.
guards
I would think
and,
that's
like,
awesome.
Or like thugs. Like, it would be awesome. And then like the Usos come out themselves. I don't know what New Day's gonna do. New Day is gonna do something new. And Bludgeon Brothers are just gonna come out with
all they need to do is come out with their stupid things.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's all there is. I mean, they nearly killed Xavier Woods. I mean, we almost saw a killing on live television. So,
And for Brock, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything special from Brock except just him come out with Paul Heyman and have maybe anything different or flashy from him. Maybe have that beanie of his, that black beanie of his, and make his entrance. Roman, I don't really see anything special for him.
No,
either.
but there'll be a lot of pyro for those two entrances. I expect.
Yeah. I mean, there was nothing special for Roman Reigns last year.
He did do the fist and the fireworks went off. That was pretty cool.
That'll probably do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, we already know what's going on with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Nobody's excited for this matchup, and yet they're gonna put it on last. Like, you would want your
Has that
fans
been
to be
confirmed? They're
happy.
putting it on that.
It's pretty
I heard
much-
Paul Heyman say it, but the way he explained it was he was acting like the advocate again, and it didn't seem like it was.
A lot of people want to make this argument that the Royal Rumble winner should main event WrestleMania every year. But I think if the Royal Rumble winner is relevant enough, and if the feud, I think you main event with what is your hottest feud going into that show.
What do you think the hottest feud is?
What do I think the hottest feud is? Honestly, I think it's John Cena and The Undertaker.
So do I. Yeah.
I mean, so if the Undertaker is scheduled to wrestle, which we're hearing rumors that he'll show up but he won't wrestle, or that he'll show up, won't wrestle, but they'll do something at angle to set up next year's WrestleMania, kind of like The Rock and John Cena the night after WrestleMania 27. I don't know what's going on, but if the Undertaker does show up, then you have to have that be the main event match. You have to have John Cena all throughout the show, interrupting the interviewer or the announcers. You have to have them. He's going to be drinking beer with the fans, and at the end, he just gets over the guardrail. He calls out the Undertaker, and they have
at
a
the
match.
very end of the show.
I
would think that'd be pretty cool.
30 to 45 minute
cool.
match, and that's how it goes. I mean, like, they have to figure out something to incorporate the Undertaker. I do think we're going to see the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and I do think this match is on.
There's no way he doesn't show up.
The way they're doing it is mind effing us really, really well.
Yeah, but
it's
been an interesting build. I've never seen a build like this where you.
This is the best build out of all the WrestleMania feuds.
I think
we're
by
getting
far.
a lot of great matches, but we're getting crappy feuds. And like I said earlier, Vince McMahon doesn't really care how we get there anymore to WrestleMania. Just as long as we get there, we show up. It doesn't matter anymore to him.
Yeah, I think the last real build was probably Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania and WrestleMania 30 because that was building for so long, and then. I didn't even think he'd be. You were like, "Oh, is he really going to even beat Triple H to start the show?"
I
right?
know.
Like, you're going to get in the main event.
Since we're talking about builds, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but all these promo videos that they do to, build the WrestleMania matches, have you noticed that they've been all the same? They don't they're not putting.
They changed. Okay, I'll say most of them are the same, but they did change the Lesnar Reigns one. They added a separate theme to the whole match. I think it's the Shinedown song. It sounds pretty cool. It pumps you up a little more, a little bit more for the match.
Nah,
I looked at it. It's I don't know. Like every single promo that they do for all the WrestleMania matches, at the letters it says right there WWE Network. Like they all look the same, and the promos they just don't. They're not as engaging as I thought that they used to be. Either something's going on with the production truck or something's going on with, these people who are behind it, or what's going on, guys? Like, what happened?
Well, in past WrestleManias, though, I mean, you remember WrestleMania 21 when they did the same build.
Now that was great. WrestleMania
it was the same
20
kind of build.
No, but WrestleMania 21 was unique because they did a mock off all of the popular movies.
It had nothing to do with any of the storylines either. It was just that's what they did.
Yeah.
It still was entertaining. But what I'm saying is it was a similar format. So I think we're just seeing the same thing over and over again. They're just getting a little low budget on some of their.
I think this is very, very, very old fashioned. I'm so used to previous years them pulling out multiple theme songs for WrestleMania. They'll have a rock theme song. They'll have a hip hop song.
That's true.
They'll have
some like
they'll have
Tinashe song.
Yeah, they'll have
that.
they'll have a Flow Rider song. They'll have Eminem. Eminem did WrestleMania 30 between Bray Wyatt and John Cena. Now that was a great promo segment between Bray Wyatt and John Cena Legacy. Mm-hmm. That was a great promo. But I mean, nothing's ever gonna top WrestleMania 17 Rock versus Austin. Austin, like I got invited to this party. And he posted the favorite promos, and I put up WrestleMania 17. He was like, "Of course, you would put the best promo up of all time." I mean, like that's just great. That's the best promo of all time.
I mean, it didn't even.
I actually, well, I'll let you talk. Sorry,
no, I was gonna say like it didn't even need a build up, but though they did one, and they did My Way from Limp Bizkit, and that was also the theme song for WrestleMania, and the perfection at its best. Like I think to me myself, WrestleMania 17 was one of the best WrestleManias out there, to me.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh no, it's the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
You think it's the best WrestleMania?
Oh,
of
it's
all time?
It's the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Who's behind it? Which WrestleMania is behind it?
Countdown. I know this didn't get a lot of buy rates, but 2 years later, WrestleMania 19, that card was stacked.
Oh, it was stacked. Yeah.
That card was stacked. And honestly, the month before, that might have been the better pay-per-view. The No Way Out 2003 pay-per-view. I mean, that might have had a better card, honestly, than WrestleMania 19.
Unless
it was a great it was a great pay-per-view.
I mean, do you want to count with Steiner and Triple H, even though that match was a?
Oh yeah. Besides Steiner and Triple, and then Triple H being the racist, doing the racist storyline with Booker T saying your kind doesn't deserve the title, and then going and getting
it's like the fat shaming they're doing with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. It's a little uncomfortable when Alexa Bliss starts just fat shaming Nia Jax.
Oh yeah.
So you gotta have that uncomfortability sometimes, and it really gets you to be like, I do not like Triple H. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's the verbiage. I mean, I was listening to something to wrestle with. Bruce Pritchard was like, "Oh yeah, it was the verbiage and the way he said it." I thought they knew what they were doing, in my opinion. Yeah. You go back, you look at this over the network, you look at on YouTube, you go look at the promo segments, and you can tell, you can see the way Triple H is talking or whatnot. It seems like they're writing that for some underneath racial tones. And then with Ric Flair, we know Ric Flair's history with his usage, his verbiage, of the N-word. So like that's not allegedly, that's real fact. So I mean, it was weird. It was interesting. But, yeah, WrestleMania 19 was a very, very good WrestleMania. I don't know. What was y'all favorite WrestleManias?
I'm trying to think.
Well, 17 is going to go up there on my list. WrestleMania 13 will be up there as well. And WrestleMania.
That was a one-card WrestleMania, wasn't it?
No, WrestleMania 13
One
had
card
One
WrestleMania?
match.
One match, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Bret Hart versus Stone
Stone
Cold.
Cold. Now that match was heated. That match was even Stone Cold talks about that match, even his feud to this day. He considers that his favorite feud of all time. Also, WrestleMania 18, even though
That was pretty good.
Yeah, looking at the card, it was great. Even though I looked at the match between Hogan and The Rock, it was pretty good because everything that Hogan did, the fans just blew up, and they all turned on The Rock, which is kind of a little bit weird, but at the same time, it was actually pretty cool. And WrestleMania, I would say 23. It's gonna go up there.
I enjoyed WrestleMania 22. I thought that was a pretty good one. Now that was
yeah.
that was one of the first ones I ever bought, like in real life. So that might be a little bias on my part. But there was a lot of
Vince McMahon versus Shawn Michaels.
that was a good one. The Triple H John Cena match before it started, the crowd was absolutely into it, and that was the first time John Cena ever got booed.
No, he was getting booed months before.
Well,
then,
no,
but
but
that's
that was
when
the
you
first
really
time. It was
noticed.
yeah.
It was like, what's going on? Even
was-
the WWE article said like John Cena looked up at the crowd that once cheered him a year before as
Yeah.
they were booing him.
No,
I remember reading that. So
although the match was quick, the triple threat match between Orton, Mysterio, and Angle was high paced. A very good match. They had a good build to it too.
yeah, but they disrespected SmackDown back then. And the main event of that, I can't put that up there because it was Mark Henry versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Well, that wasn't the main event though. The main
It
event
wasn't
was
the
Triple H
main
and
event,
Cena.
but what I'm trying to say is there should have been Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker at that year's WrestleMania, and I think it was planned. But for whatever reason, they needed buys for No Way Out, so they we're just going to do that match for No Way Out.
That's funny, yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic match, don't get me wrong, but it should have been Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Would have made it a little better. But
Yeah.
I also enjoyed on that card the Edge Mick Foley hardcore
Oh, that was
match.
a pretty
That
good
is
match.
one of the most hardcore matches I've ever seen. So they either spear through the table, the
Flaming table.
everything. Yeah, exactly. I should have added
Thumbtacks
that.
and barbed wire and all
You,
that.
and you add Joey Styles to the commentary
Yeah.
too. That's a rare. I don't think that's only happened once.
I also
So-
also looking at that WrestleMania 22 pay-per-view, there were also plans of having, God rest his soul, but Shawn Michaels versus Eddie Guerrero. They
I
were
thought you
gonna
say God rest his soul, Shawn Michaels.
no
He's not
to
dead, Eric.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. No,
Eddie Guerrero.
They
Yeah,
were
That
gonna.
man just got a new hairdo yesterday.
Yeah, it's true. I just showed it to Nick earlier.
I'm extremely disappointed in Shawn Michaels. Okay, as my favorite wrestler of all time, I'm disappointed that you finally lost your gimmick and shaved the head. It's extremely disappointing.
look like Triple H, man.
Yeah, they're just the same person. They're just the same
The
person.
man is getting up. The man's 50-something years old. What, you want him to look like a sexy boy his whole life? What? The man's 50-something years
You
old.
gotta live the gimmick. You gotta live the gimmick.
No, man. No, you can live it on for him.
Well, Undertaker.
You can grow long hair too. Be a sexy
maybe I will.
boy.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
Undertaker.
You got to shave the beard though. You look too much like Post Malone now. You still look like Post Malone.
Yeah, beard's getting a little too long. I might have to shave it.
Yeah, you have to shave
I
that.
have to shave it.
I mean, Undertaker had to shave his head.
Yeah,
It was-
that's true. But then he brings the hair back and he looks fine. So, I think he has. Yes. Does he have hair right now, or?
he has.
But he can just
Undertaker?
shave
Yeah,
it. He can
he-
just shave it tonight and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on him.
Well, he's gonna have to bring somebody in to do that because if he goes out and does it, like everybody and their mom is gonna report it. Like sometimes I feel
absolutely,
like
dude.
sometimes I
Yeah.
feel like we ruin it
Probably
for
do it in the back.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we had this conversation. It's on our episode. Enjoy this ish. Like sometimes as wrestling fans, we do legitimately ruin it for ourselves.
Yeah, no,
we
we do.
ruin surprises for ourselves, and like we screw it over, and they have to scramble and change plans. Or, like we are getting manipulated easier. Or it gets to a point where they're just like, well, you're just going to get it anyway. Like Roman Reigns. Like, they're just like,
played your ass.
we're just going to get, you're just going to get it anyway.
Kurt Angle keeps saying, like, and everybody's been wanting to watch this match for years. And it's like, not necessarily.
No.
I enjoyed their first match at WrestleMania 31 because that was kind of an unknown. Roman Reigns was getting propped up. I wasn't fully against him like a lot of other fans were for that match, but they did a good thing and didn't even have either win. They had Seth Rollins.
Funny story. I was actually at my the guy who invited me to this year's WrestleMania. I was at his house at the time at for that WrestleMania. And so, you know how I used to have the I had the WWE app, and I'm shutting the notifications off this Sunday because
Yeah,
they
same here.
used to give you notifications with match outcomes from your WWE app. So I'm watching WrestleMania and we're behind because we're watching a little bit late. We haven't seen the main event yet. And I see on my phone Seth Rollins cashes in his Money in the Bank contract match.
That is so.
And wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I just see that pop up on my phone. I'm just like, oh god. So when everybody's popping, I have to fake pop. I have to fake pop like everybody else.
That sucks.
And like and pretend like I actually don't know what really happened when really I know what happened. Like Seth Rollins showed up, cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, and won the WWE Championship.
That-
like
What's
that.
your
Like in a
advice?
thief in the
Yeah.
night.
What's
So
your
my
advice?
advice is
Put your
don't
phone away.
uninstall the
That's-
WWE app unless you're gonna watch the damn show on your phone and connect it to your TV. Just uninstall the app. Okay, if you gotta work, if you gotta do something, you're not watching WrestleMania till later. Uninstall the app and then reinstall it after you watch it WrestleMania.
Yeah. Hey, my thing is if you're watching WrestleMania late, I actually did this last year. I watched it here on the West Coast at 7:00. I watched it obviously on tape on the WWE Network, but I had to be off my phone for 3 hours.
No,
I
yeah,
can't even
definitely.
look. I can't look at my Instagram. I can't even look at my emails. I
Social
thought they were
media
gonna give away
off
things
limits,
in
man.
my emails. I just can't say. And I didn't know. The only thing I knew about was the Gronk thing with Jinder Mahal because someone I was with in the car. I was driving back from Sacramento. And someone I was with said, "Hey, Gronk just showed up at WrestleMania." And I'm like, "Oh God, it's pre-show, whatever."
but nobody cared. That's pre-show.
No, but I was
mean,
hoping to just shut it out completely, and then you have someone that doesn't even watch wrestling give you, "Hey, Gronk just showed up at wrestling," So
Well, I'll say this. These are advices from both of you guys.
what's your
because,
advice, Eric?
For my advice right now, I would say, watch the pre-show because it's actually on the USA Network.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock, and the kickoff show. Uninstall that stuff until the pay-per-view starts. Avoid social media, and we want to be in the RKJ Man's case because we do have a Money in the Bank briefcase still running around.
Oh,
You know
that's a
what
good
I
point.
and you
Yeah,
know what I
that's a good
mean.
point.
yeah, she's running around there, man. She seems like she's more in tune with taking pictures on her social media and looking hot. And I don't have a problem
You
with
had no
that.
problem with that.
I got no
Neither
problem
do
with
I.
that.
Neither do
but
I.
the
It's all
issue
good.
is when is she going to really cash in
Well,
that
she
Money
has
in the
until
Bank?
June,
And the
so.
rumor has it that this Sunday she's gonna play a role in that match. Now, I don't think that would be a smart decision.
Let's wait to predict
Let-
that
okay,
match
all right.
until later because I know we're gonna get it. We'd get into it, and I actually kind of know what you're gonna say, but so let's take this. We talked about. Anybody else want to mention anything about WrestleMania before we kind of jump into NXT and the predictions for WrestleMania? Any other things that we're looking forward to or anything like that?
I think we're good. Hall of Fame. They have their own thing. WrestleMania. Let's get to it.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's like get to it, but anything else you want to add, Ryan?
No, I want to talk about that NXT. I want to talk about
We're
which
going to
show,
talk about that next, real quick.
which
We're gonna
show
talk about
might
that.
be better.
We're going to talk about that next. So we'll jump to Nick's completely random non-wrestling segment of the day, and this is not going to be your usual
Completely random segue too.
Yeah, completely random segment. It's actually not going to be as random today. I'm going to use this as a ploy to talk about some of the UFC and boxing news that happened because I feel like we have to mention this news. We've been talking about the Triple G Canelo fight for a while, and they announced earlier this week that it has now been canceled. Canelo Alvarez pulled out, so that fight will not be happening. Their rematch will not be happening. Unfortunately, the whole thing with Canelo getting caught with steroids and all this other stuff was too much for that fight to happen. So it's definitely not happening on May 5th. You might see a Triple G Canelo fight later, maybe in October or something like that, because that's October's another range for big boxing matches to happen. But as far as May 5th, it's not going to happen. But real quick, while that one gets canceled, there's a real good possible chance that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua are finally going to fight for the heavyweight titles. Anthony Joshua, after he won his fight and won, like, I think his 4th or 5th title or something like that, he called out Deontay Wilder. This has been rumors in the making, and that fight would be the best fight you could come up with right now as far as without Triple G and Canelo. That's the best fight. So where we lose one, we might have gained another in the summer. So not that bad. And then moving on to the UFC, you have the crazy main event change. Tony Ferguson, unfortunately,
A leg injury.
tripped over some production cables doing media experiences and tore his ACL. So he's
Somebody's gonna get fired at Fox.
Exactly, and he's I don't know if it was Fox, but I feel like it was.
Whoever he was at, they're gonna get fired.
Yeah, so he tripped over production cable. The often injury-prone Tony Ferguson is injured again, and he's.
What's your skills? I can tear ACLs. I can destroy ACLs.
Exactly.
And I don't even play in the NFL.
Exactly. But so Tony Ferguson not only has been obviously pulled from that fight in the main event, but he actually was stripped of his lightweight championship too.
God.
So he's not even the lightweight champion anymore. But interesting enough, the man that's coming in to replace him versus Khabib Nurmagomedov for the lightweight title is featherweight champion Max Holloway. And Max Holloway is undefeated, and so is Khabib. So this fight, in some ways, might be a little bit better than
For the better,
yeah. Although Holloway is going to be fighting on 6 days' notice, Holloway has a chance to become the second ever double champ. The first being, of course, Conor McGregor. So this fight's been changed.
He's probably in fantastic shape if they calling him up 6 days prior.
I don't think it was necessarily them calling him up. I think he was immediately when he heard that, he's just like, I'm fighting. I want to fight this. I want to try to become the second champ. But Khabib's a different animal, man. And I saw a video last night on Twitter where when he was a younger kid, his parents used to put a little cub, an actual cub, on a chain, and he used to wrestle the cub. And he'd perform wrestling moves on the cub, like actual wrestling moves, not like
What the hell
pedigrees.
type of childhood did he grow up in?
Russia. He's Russian.
Okay, that explains a lot. That explains a lot, man.
But
how old? He was probably 10 when he started drinking vodka, right?
100%. He was probably drinking vodka out of the womb.
Yeah.
His mom was probably drinking vodka when she had him.
Pretty much.
But, that's the kind of guy you're looking at, first of all. But Max Holloway, he's undefeated. Obviously, I don't think you take away much from a loss if you're Holloway because you still have another title. But it makes actually the pay-per-view a little more interesting now because you don't, you actually were looking forward obviously to this big Ferguson-Khabib match that we'd been looking for a while, and now that's not going to happen because Ferguson just cannot stop getting injured, and I'm glad Dana White stripped him of the title because I was getting sick of him never wrestling or never fighting, and so now we get Max Holloway and Khabib. So just real quick, what are your guys' predictions? Who do you think wins the fight?
For two sports, right?
Well, no, for Holloway and Khabib.
Khabib. Okay.
The other fight.
Since it did change my outlook on what was going to happen between Ferguson and.
Yeah, I think you had Ferguson. Right?
Yeah, I had Ferguson. I said that it was going to be an upset. I thought it was going to be an upset victory, but now looking at these two guys, two undefeated monsters out there. Oh man, this is tough to say. This reminds me of Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin when you couldn't tell, oh man, like these guys are just so much alike. It's like looking in the mirror. Now Khabib and Holloway, I think it's gonna go to a decision. So I believe it's going to be Khabib.
Oh, what's it?
Yeah,
okay.
I think Khabib's gonna go at him straight.
Yeah.
Did I say Khabib last week?
I think you said Khabib last week.
Yeah, I mean, you just reinforced that I was going with Khabib.
It's
tough
not
the
to
man's
pick him,
wrestling Cubs. Like,
I want to mention that because that puts it, as a kid.
I mean, if he's fighting lions, tigers, and bears, that'd even be better. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's Khabib. Let's talk about Canelo. Triple G.
No, yeah, go ahead. That's why I mentioned it.
I mean, it's simple. Canelo and Triple G is not happening. It got postponed. Well, the fight is suspended. We don't know when we don't know if there's another date.
It's not happening on Cinco de Mayo.
It's not happening on Cinco de Mayo, and I really think it's gonna destroy the buzz for this match. And all I can say is it's Canelo's fault. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We've said it multiple times on this podcast. You're a jackass. Because if you're gonna
you've said that multiple times.
I've said this multiple
Eric and I
times.
have not called him a jackass.
I'm gonna be honest. You go to Mexico. You know that you're already under an intense microscope already because of your previous issues with drug tests, and you have this big fight May 5th. A lot of money is on the line for everybody, and you choose to quote unquote eat tainted meat. I mean, something's not right. Something's not adding up to me. Like
Well,
it's just not. It's not right.
And the fact that he pulled out of the fight probably means there's something
legitimate. He did something
yeah.
wrong. You know, if you did nothing wrong, then be like, no, I'm fighting May 5th. This is gonna happen, and I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in, and I'm gonna stand up for what I think. I have integrity. I'm gonna stand up for my own integrity. You know, that's another 48 law of power. You know, protect your reputation at all cost. So I've been reading that book.
Yeah. We know.
Dropping some knowledge,
I've
man.
been reading that book, baby.
RKJ Man dropping knowledge around here, man.
But yeah, man, it's like you know, his reputation's gone down. I don't think this match is gonna happen, honestly, anymore. I think Triple G and Canelo are just gonna go their separate ways, and we're just always gonna wonder what if. Because at the end of the day, like when they come back, if Canelo wins cleanly, they're gonna be like, well, he cheated, you know, like, and then we're gonna ask for a third matchup, you know, like a trilogy for a tiebreaker, the rubber match. It makes no sense. It's a complete disaster. Canelo and Triple G's over. Let's move on. Let's get these fighters onto somewhere. Let's get these fighters onto somebody else.
Now I disagree with that. I don't think it's gonna. I think it will happen in like a year. I think it will happen like around this time of the year.
A big boxing event is gonna happen within a year. I know Triple G's gonna make it up to the fans who did wanted to see this match. So Triple G is gonna fight at May the 5th, but it's not going to be Canelo. The thing is that it's not going to be for the same amount of money that was being put for Canelo and Triple G. That's the thing.
God, man. Not only did he mess with the fight, he messed with the money, man. Don't mess with the money, man. That's oh my goodness.
We were just talking about money trees last week, weren't we?
No, but you know what? I am glad.
Podcast is up on that, by the way, on YouTube and SoundCloud.
This
we got double the podcast for y'all this week.
It's WrestleMania week. We had to release as much as possible. But no, and one of the silver linings is, like I mentioned, there's potentially going to have this heavyweight fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. So we're going to get a good fight in the summer. Unfortunately, we're not going to get this fight in May. By the way, Triple G still might fight in May. It's probably not going to be against the most quality opponent. He'll probably win, but there might be a fight for Triple G, and not necessarily that I'm even going to run to go buy.
Nobody's going to watch that.
Exactly. And before the Canelo fight, Triple G's his fight, the money that he was bringing in was like nothing too.
Yeah.
So if you're not big time like Floyd Mayweather, but this is what I want to say. You said that you don't think it's ever going to happen. Dude, did we ever think Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather would have a boxing match? No. So it's going to happen again.
I knew that was going to happen. It's going to
happen. It's going to happen again. There's no way this fight doesn't eventually happen. I just don't think it will happen this year.
But I do think. I think the money is just not going to be as big as it was previously.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what me and you were planning to do on May 5th. We had somewhere to be, Nick, and we were actually going to cut those plans as short. I was planning this thing where we were going to cut it as short as possible so we can get back to my place and catch the fight. So now it's a situation where it's like, okay, well, I mean,
nothing going on.
I got nothing to go. Well, we got something going on, but and we're going to be there all day. But there's no rush for me personally as a fan to go want to buy that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
To want to go see that fight. And honestly, we're used to big fights happening in May. Like the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight a few years ago that happened in May. So we're used to those big-time fights, those summer months fights where there's no football really going on, no basketball. There's no really sporting events going on.
There's basketball playoffs.
Basketball playoffs. Okay, there's basketball playoffs, okay. But those are predictable. But, at the end of the day, when you don't have those types of fights, I mean, it kind of loses its luster over a period of time. That's what I think,
No, it could that's true. That's true. I mean, even the Pacquiao Mayweather fight kind of,
which was awful.
That was
complete disappointment.
It wasn't that good.
Very expensive though.
Yeah, exactly.
My goodness.
I think that
I remember
fight,
when DirecTV or whatnot went down or something. AT&T went down.
I thought that was last year in the McGregor one.
No, it went down in the Conor or the Pacquiao one, the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Oh my goodness, we got on the phone with them. I feel sorry for that girl or that man, whoever her. He caught a tug lashing because we had people over and that thing was down.
No, but so the couple of you could either say disappointing or exciting announcements from the worlds of boxing and UFC.
If you're an Anthony Joshua and Deontay,
well, yeah,
then
exactly.
you should be good,
No, absolutely. And that fight it probably won't draw as good as some of these other fights with Canelo and Triple G or Floyd Mayweather
So
and
much
stuff
money
like that.
so much money was being put on this one. So, it's disappointing. We don't get to see this match. And hey, I think Triple G's actually having his head up held high. And even though he does look forward to fight in May the 5th, but it's not going to be the opponent that we've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Canelo, you would have won too, bro.
I think he would have won too.
You would have won, man. You've got the better punching power.
He had steroids in his body.
I mean,
he would have won.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise,
Yeah,
man.
a lot of his fans are calling him a dumbass. You know, I've been looking at the comments. A lot of fans.
So we have jackass and dumbass so
yeah.
far. I need to come up with one now.
Yeah, he's a donkey, man.
Yeah, and a lot of words that they said in Spanish, and I know what they said.
Oh
So,
yeah, I don't want to read it. I don't want to. Sometimes, even though I don't know Spanish that well, I could just tell when something means a cuss word.
Oh, yeah.
I could just tell. Like somebody said, somebody.
Well, hold
at
on,
work-
Ryan. What are you gonna say? Hold on.
PJ Ryan. Somebody says PJ Ryan. That's what somebody said. Somebody said that.
Oh my gosh.
It was lovingly, but I was like, oh, I know what that means now. I was
What are
like,
you
what's that
talking
mean?
about, man?
Yeah.
Either he said it in a good way or he said it in a bad way.
Yeah, Eric will let you know if it was a good way or the bad way.
I think it was a good way, but you can never tell. I can't really tell.
Okay.
I can't really tell.
No, real quick, one other news that was announced yesterday because they had some small press conference for the fact that they had to redo the fight. Dana White announced that Conor McGregor is going to fight this year again, 100%.
Really?
So he's going to return. I would probably see him potentially fighting the winner of this fight that we're talking about with Max Holloway and Khabib. Still, because he's said to be the somewhat number one contender since they just stripped the titles of him. He never lost either of them, but he could fight either Max Holloway because Max Holloway is a featherweight, or he could fight Khabib because Mayweather's fought lightweight as well. So that I think you almost could say it's going to be one of these two guys that he's going to fight.
Yeah,
coming up. I would say Khabib's a bigger fight because Khabib, when you watch him this Saturday, you're gonna see how he's one of the best, or maybe the best fighter in UFC. So, but just never had a title because of injuries.
My goodness, this weekend is just take my money weekend.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Just take my money weekend.
But
There goes the money.
Exactly. So we should move on, and we're gonna jump into NXT, the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. This is gonna be our second somewhat triple threat topic of the day. We're not really doing the triple threat topics today necessarily. We're just kind of talking about WrestleMania weekend. But so the NXT pay-per-view. This is always a nice little precursor for WrestleMania each Saturday.
Or any pay-per-view, any major pay-per-view.
Yeah. These pay-per-views are always good. They put more emphasis on the matches, which I enjoy. I've always been a big wrestling match fan. In WWE, the storylines are great and all that stuff. But as long as the match is good, that's all I care about.
True that.
These NXT matches are always really good. And I don't watch the builds. I don't watch NXT. I don't have time to watch 3 wrestling shows in the week. But they always do a good enough job of showing you what's happened and then having outstanding matches. And wow, do we have a freaking card this Saturday. Okay, so let's talk about this because we just mentioned that WrestleMania, we talked about a lot of different fights. There's like 5 or 6 main events for this WrestleMania. And then I think there's 3 legitimate main events for this NXT card, too. Maybe even 4.
That North American title, the North American ladder match.
Ryan, explain to people who's in that match, just to get people excited.
You know what? We got Prince Puma, Ricochet. You got EC3. Just came over from Impact.
I forgot he was even in that match. This is going to be unbelievable.
EC3. You got Lars Sullivan. You got Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby.
Who else? All I can think of is, the Velveteen Dream. How could I forget about the Velveteen Dream? Okay, and then you got 2 other people who are probably.
You have Killian Dane's last one.
Okay, yeah, no.
You gotta have those big guys in the match occasionally, though. It's a ladder match. It's a 6-man ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. That is going to be amazing.
Why do you think NXT can just do so many more innovative things than the main roster? I think it's personally because you don't have Vince McMahon overseeing it. He's not controlling every nuance, and you have Triple H just kind of controlling the situation. Now, a lot of people say, well, NXT was much better when Dusty Rhodes was alive and Dusty Rhodes was booking the show.
I kind of disagree with that. I think it's just as good now. I don't think there's much of a difference.
I think the pay-per-views, though, constantly outshine the main show.
Well,
they embarrass the main shows.
I have a theory why that happens, and I think it's because it's the old thing with like Brock Lesnar, where he doesn't wrestle all the time and he's not on every single show. So when he has a match, and his luster's even fallen off a little bit now, like, hey, this match at WrestleMania, it's probably going to be a good match with him and Roman Reigns, but it's like, okay, Brock's Brock, we've seen this match before, all that stuff. I think with the NXT stuff, since we don't watch NXT, all three of us don't watch NXT every week, and I think a lot of fans don't watch NXT every single week. I think they just watch the pay-per-views. I believe that it's a little bit of the case of it's like everything special because we don't get to see these guys every single week. So we really only get to see them 2 or 3 months out of like every 2 months, really. So I think the reason why we always get excited is we're like, oh man, that match was really good. And we hadn't seen these guys in a long time. I feel like if you watched NXT every single week, you wouldn't think these pay-per-views are as good as they really are because maybe you're disappointed in the way a storyline was built, stuff like that. But I'm not going to take anything away from NXT. They put on fantastic shows, and a lot of times they do outshine the previous pay-per-view. I don't think they've outshined the WrestleMania yet because WrestleMania you have bigger personalities, and when you got a guy like The Rock
they got a long way to go. That's for sure.
Or you have a guy like The Undertaker wrestling, that's going to be better than anything an NXT show is going to show.
Well, here's the thing. For NXT, less is more. That's the number one rule in this one. And
take notes, WrestleMania.
And here's the thing: the people that say that it hasn't been good since Dusty Rhodes, I think these are the same people that now look at some of these superstars that went from NXT that are right now in the current roster, like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, also guys like Nakamura. These guys, the reason why they're saying that is because now these wrestlers are top stars. These are top stars that Dusty Rhodes, when he was present, and looking at these superstars right now, I think either WWE is right now running out of some of the stars that they are recruiting for NXT, or some of these superstars. And I gotta say this: these are great athletes, guys like Aleister Black, Adam Cole, his Red Dragon,
Ricochet. You don't get better athlete than Ricochet.
All these guys, they're great athletes. I think it's just that these fans are just not really familiar with them, or they don't even know who Ricochet really is. And I don't think there are people out there who followed EC3's career, even when he was in Impact Wrestling. Adam Cole, even though he was a top player in Ring of Honor, I don't think there are many fans out there who were familiar with him as well. For us, we were extremely familiar with these guys. It's just that a lot of these people who were fans of NXT when Dusty Rhodes was around, these are just top stars now, and it's easy for them to look back at the old NXT and say that's better before.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern is that Performance Center. That Performance Center was built to make sure that you have top superstars inbred, homegrown. It kind of reminds me of WCW when they had their power plant.
Yeah, that's good.
So, my only concern and my only issue with NXT is we're getting a lot of these superstars are mid-30s, late 30s. We're getting them from the indie scene. We're poaching talent from here and there. I want us to have homegrown stars, and I think you really need to push those homegrown stars. And I like what Velveteen said on his Twitter a month ago. He said, "I'm tired of these stars coming in outside of the business who aren't homegrown anymore." Which is ironic because he was on the independents before he got to Tough Enough. Nobody knows that, but he was wrestled a few.
He was young.
Little bit.
He was young,
and he wrestled a little bit too. So I mean, my only issue is you have to make sure that you're homegrown talent. So how many homegrown talents do we have at this NXT pay-per-view
NXT pay-per-view? Okay, well, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong with that, but I believe the Authors of Pain, they're homegrown.
Yeah, I think they're homegrown.
Velveteen Dream, like you mentioned.
Well, he's mostly homegrown. He did a little bit of indie, but
no, but he didn't get. He got signed. He was a Tough Enough guy. Yeah, that's why he's. He wasn't signed off.
And he was developed at the Performance Center. Developed his gimmick at the Performance Center. So yeah.
Shayna Baszler is fighting for the women's championship.
Oh yeah, she's definitely
homegrown.
homegrown.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think Andrade Almas is.
No,
he's
he's
not,
from
absolutely
Mexico.
Not. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, definitely
Rod-
not. They poached him from AAA.
Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne are not. They seem
Ring
like
of
they're.
Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, which
No
we'll talk
way.
about in a moment, which is a fantastic
What about like a
feud.
Killian Dane or Lars Sullivan?
I
we know?
believe Lars is homegrown.
Homegrown?
Yeah. And Killer, I don't know. I don't know the deal with him. I'm
I
gonna say
feel
he,
I think
I'm
he's
gonna say he's homegrown. If y'all know, y'all leave a
Please,
message in the comments.
Exactly. We're not the biggest on some of the. Like I said, we don't watch NXT every week, so we kind of get into we enjoy these matches. But
I just watch the pay-per-views, and
Yeah.
I don't have time to watch NXT. I don't, But I mean, I think I am a little concerned regarding what's happening with the homegrown situation at the Performance
I agree,
Center.
but here,
Are
I'll
you
say this,
really
yeah.
making superstars there, or are you poaching superstars? Because sooner or later, those superstars are going to run out, and you're going to look around and be like, where's our superstars?
Yeah, that's true. No, but there's somewhat. I mean, Alexa Bliss is homegrown, and she's been one of the best female wrestlers the last year or two. Right?
Okay.
She's won both titles.
Charlotte
is homegrown.
Yes, she
Homegrown
is.
with a wrestling father, but still homegrown. She's
Nia
not
Jax.
homegrown.
Sasha Banks sort of is homegrown. She had some experience on the indies.
Yeah, kind of. Bailey's not. Isn't Roman Reigns homegrown?
Yes,
Yeah.
Roman Reigns is
So
the
that's-
definition of homegrown.
Yeah, so you have some of the main events of WrestleMania here. We have some homegrown people.
Yes.
So it's not like but you're 100% right. You look at this. Hey, Adam Cole was in Ring of Honor and all this stuff.
In New
EC3
Japan.
was a TNA guy. Aleister Black was definitely an independence guy.
Yeah.
You go through this. Ricochet, 100%. Johnny Gargano, Ciampa, the definition of independent wrestling.
Yeah.
So, you have it, but I think they've done a good job of, at least within NXT, keeping these guys hot and keeping them. I think that with a 1 hour show, it's easier to build guys because you don't have them on TV every single week.
So do you think it's harder for these guys then because they're going from independent to a professional independent in NXT to get to the main roster and establish an identity?
I think so.
Because I look at a guy like Finn Balor. He had so much buzz around him at NXT, and he has just fizzled off. He is just not as popular.
Yeah, I think it was, what? The
Injury prone, and I
though.
think is a matter of not having a gimmick. But he could have found something while he was in NXT. You're comfortable in NXT, and I've heard a lot of superstars from Bayley, Sasha Banks, all these wrestlers have said, "Hey, look, I really miss NXT because I was in just a comfortable atmosphere and I think in NXT there is an independent vibe. Yes, it's professional, it's the WWE, but it's still an independent vibe. You still have some of those hardcore fans, those dudes who, like I said, man, they be having, internet. They have Ring of Honor or New Japan on one side, one thing, and then you got the other site on another one.
Yeah.
All right, you got the other side in another browser. You know what I'm talking about, too.
That's not. I wouldn't consider us that way, but
we're not that way.
Ryan and I a couple months ago debated on going to a house show for NXT in Riverside, California.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. We're getting a little closer. But
Look, man, I gotta say, the thing is that it's great that a lot of these wrestlers from the independents make that name for themselves in NXT. I can totally agree with Bayley and a lot of these superstars who say that they're in a really comfortable position in NXT because almost everybody is new. Everybody is new in NXT, even to the cameraman, even to the people in the production truck. Triple H has said it himself. He says that we teach camera people. We teach people in the production truck.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. It was on Austin's podcast. He says, look at these guys who are right now doing the production with me and Austin. I mean, these guys are not going to last that long.
What?
Yeah.
What? They're not going to last that long? So they're going to get fired in 5 minutes?
What a douchebag comment.
It looked like he was
man,
aiming
he's
that way.
burying cameraman too, man. Jeez. Man, that shovel knows no bounds, man. There is no depth to that shovel, man. There's no end to it.
He's burying more people than Cena, right?
Good Lord.
He's burying more people than an actual Undertaker.
Good God. These people aren't going to last very long. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's a good one. I did not know that he buried cameramen like that. In NXT.
We don't have to look that up,
At least
Eric.
he's not.
I mean,
Okay,
I don't want to get sued, man.
See, and we should have known. We should have known that because all these NXT guys are not getting buried in NXT. Someone was getting buried.
Somebody's getting buried, man. Yeah.
Even the intern.
Yeah.
Even he puts him in harm's way.
Yeah, puts him in harm's
He's like,
way.
yeah, by the way, just get right next to Ricochet when he goes to do that backflip off the ropes.
So we better. So what's the advice? Should we not intern for NXT or?
I'm interning for WWE. It's safer
Studios,
environment.
WWE Studios or something, you know.
Oh,
Let's talk some more about this card, man.
Well, yeah,
I want to talk about.
I want to go through the card real
what about
quick.
Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano?
Well, that's going to be amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that needs to be the main event.
Well, that's a build. That's the rare NXT storyline that you're going to see. Like this major storyline that's been happening. What is that since TakeOver or
TakeOver last year
Brooklyn.
in June of last year at
the
Brooklyn.
SummerSlam one.
You know, and I heard one of my wrestling podcasters that I listened to say you should have actually had this match at the June pay-per-view Money in the Bank because it would be 1 year removed from the Money in the Bank or the NXT TakeOver when he turned on him, when Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano. So I'm going to let you continue, but like this Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa feud is old-fashioned blood feud wrestling with a new age twist. With a new age twist to it. And I freaking love it.
Yeah, no. And the good thing about this storyline and all that stuff, have you guys seen you obviously seen them attack each other and do all that stuff. There's been videos of
Johnny Gargano just busting down his house, beating down his house.
Tommaso Ciampa yelling at old ladies in the stands. He's really
good, real
keeping kayfabe alive for this.
Heel right there, man.
But they had Ciampa talking to a bunch of those Johnny Gargano masks, and then all of a sudden one of them was Johnny Gargano. So
that was cool.
It's been a great build. Obviously, this has really been a build since Ciampa beat the hell out of him on top of the stage.
And that's how you build a heel, man. That is how you build a heel.
Well, you know what's funny? This is actually one of those storylines that was actually helped out by an injury, too. Because this might have happened earlier if Ciampa wouldn't have got injured during that attack. So there's somewhat this. You mentioned that they could have waited till June. I think they probably were scheduling to do this earlier, and they just, it's going to happen in WrestleMania now.
And it helped because you had to see Johnny Gargano fail by himself with
true.
no
That's
true
true.
enemy besides himself. It was really himself. And so Tommaso Ciampa's coming back, and he's the heel, and he's like, oh, look, it's you. You're the true problem. You were the problem and why we broke up.
Fantastic.
And you were the problem and why we couldn't
why
you couldn't win the
fantastic.
championship. That's just how you do it, man. Oh, my goodness.
No, it's great. It's great. And
stacked in this NXT pay-per-view.
that storyline's going to be good. Obviously, I am always down for a triple threat tag team match in NXT as well. Anything with the Authors of Pain, I'm down for.
They're leaving pretty soon.
Yeah, I would expect this might be their one of their last, especially if they lose because they're not champion.
Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, it's
SmackDown. I want them on SmackDown.
You want them on SmackDown?
Better tag team division on SmackDown.
I think so.
Which means they'll put them on Raw.
That's true.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. And especially if whatever we see with Braun Strowman, we'll talk about that later. If the Cesaro and Sheamus,
they keep a 2.5-hour podcast.
They keep the what do you call it? You guys messed up my. I was in the middle. I'm trying to remember.
I'm sorry, man.
Sheamus and
get to the
Cesaro.
point here, man.
Sheamus and Cesaro. Their gimmick before the whole Braun Strowman thing was they had nobody to beat. Well, I think the perfect thing was I actually thought the Authors of Pain might come for WrestleMania. Because Sheamus and Cesaro were like, we don't have anybody, we've beaten everybody, which was true. So they haven't beat Braun Strowman and whoever his partner is going to be. We'll predict what we think is going to happen in that match. But I think if Sheamus and Cesaro are the winners of that match, I think their next storyline would probably be against the Authors of Pain, unless for some reason the Authors of Pain win the NXT Championship this weekend. But that match, real quick, is the Authors of Pain, Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. And in the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole in his second match of the night.
Pete Dunne.
My bad. Pete Dunne. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly because Bobby Fish is injured. So Adam Cole fighting twice on this card. So he's going to be in a ladder match and he's going to be in one of those very physical tag team matches.
I think Adam Cole, first of all, should be NXT champion very, very soon.
I think
he's a primetime player. I mean, a legit primetime player for NXT.
He will be. Just watch.
Matt, he's a star. And when you saw his reaction he got when he came out in the Royal Rumble too.
Yeah.
So he's a real good, and that whole Undisputed Era thing's been a cool thing. Unfortunately, Bobby Fish got injured, so he's not able to wrestle at the card. And then you have Adam Cole wrestling twice. But if he can, if he can get over twice, he can get over twice.
He can get over
Nobody
twice.
cares.
That's more money too for him, man.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that match too. And then of course you have the women's match, which is
what's the women's match?
It's
again?
Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler.
I'm not really sold on Ember Moon's character.
I'm not sold on Shayna Baszler's character either. And the problem is, it's you have NXT wrestling is not the MMA stuff. That's more for WWE. You see Ronda Rousey, you see Brock Lesnar, you see other people. The chick that's in
Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Sonya Deville.
And so this match is not. This seems almost like a time filler for like maybe between the Gargano match and the NXT Championship match. Like this is one of those where you don't, or you start the show with this maybe, because I don't think this is, out of every match that's happening, this is the one I'm least excited about. And it's just because the style is slow. Well, the style is slow. There's always going to be one of these matches, but I think Shayna Baszler, their last match, it was good. They tell a story in the ring about the whole MMA versus an actual pro wrestler and stuff like that. But it just doesn't seem that, it doesn't seem that I'm not that interested. Maybe Shayna Baszler wins the title, and this is a way for Ember Moon to finally get on the main roster.
Maybe.
But there doesn't seem there's a lot of good female talent right now in NXT, so I think you got to keep Ember Moon maybe possibly down there too.
I think it'll be fantastic. Besides this match,
like I said, there's always got to be.
This match is gonna be good.
Yeah, there's always got to be that kind of time filler match, and then I think the main event probably is gonna be Gargano versus Ciampa, but this match, this NXT Championship match, is Andrade Almas has really impressed me. He used to be
since his heel turn.
Well, he used to be a show starter too. He used to be one of those guys, who's the guy that does the kind of like Carlito.
No Way Jose.
No Way Jose. That guy's kind of an opener, right? Ty Dillinger was always an NXT opener. Yeah. Andrade Almas was an opener for NXT. It was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. It's a cool start to the match.
Good theme.
He's really interesting. He adds Selena Vega. Obviously the beautiful Selena Vega.
Yeah, man. Salute to Austin Aries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good point right there.
Raise a glass to that man.
But so they had him and Gargano had possibly the match of the year earlier this year, and he's going against Aleister Black, who is right. I would probably say, and I think you'll probably say the same thing. He's my favorite performer in NXT.
Right, yeah, I think Aleister Black is taking this one. I think it's time for unless Selena Vega does something like to distract Aleister Black. But Aleister Black, his character is he just doesn't get distracted.
I think the only way
you
could distract him.
I love that part of Aleister Black.
Yeah, the only way you could distract him is maybe she like kisses him or something, or like makes out with him on the side of the ring.
He's too evil.
But that's what I'm saying. But that would distract the hell out of him, right?
Yeah.
He's about darkness. He's about all this stuff. And then Selena Vega gets up.
Even Velveteen Dream couldn't get him.
He wasn't phased one bit by the Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, he wasn't phased.
Not one bit. But so this match is going to be amazing. Again, any match Aleister Black's in, I think he's my favorite performer. I know he is, and he might be one of your favorite performers too.
I'm very impressed with Aleister Black.
Yeah, so we just mentioned 4 legitimate main event matches for this card. I think almost all of these could main event.
And how many matches are on?
There's only 5.
See, less is more.
Well, it's only a 2-hour show though.
Okay.
And the cool thing is, I believe NXT is from 5 to 7. So I always say Pacific time, because we're from the West Coast, so I'm going to say Pacific time. But that gives you enough chance, once the NXT pay-per-view is over, if you're watching live, to move over to UFC. The main event starts at 7. So it's that perfect night, Saturday night, to lead up to WrestleMania the next day.
Fight weekend, dude.
Exactly. So this NXT pay-per-view is going to be amazing.
And you still got time to go out and party, man. Turn up.
Exactly. I might have to do my partying on Friday, though. Yeah. I might have to do my
Are we partying together on Friday night?
We might be able to.
We turn it up on Friday night? We might be able to shooky.
Turn it up. It's WrestleMania weekekend. We got to do something.
We got to do something on Friday night, man.
But so, real quick, let's just, since we're about to go into the predictions thing, we're going to do the segments in the middle, you guys' segments. Let's predict. So we think, who do we think wins the NXT Championship match?
The men's match, correct?
Yeah.
Aleister Black.
Black.
I'm going to actually go with Almas. I think there's going to be a rematch somewhere in the future between these two, so I'm going to go with Almas on that one. Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler for the women's championship.
Baszler's too green. Ember Moon. She's still a little green to me.
Mm-hmm.
Upset victory, Ember Moon.
Yo, you're going upset
That
victory
means-
Ember Moon.
Upset? Oh, wait. Wouldn't it be Baszler?
Well, I think like it might be like a roll up, like those.
Oh, I get what
Dirty
you're
rolls,
saying.
yeah,
He's just saying it's not going to be like a clean
Oh,
finish.
it's going to be fluky.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Fluky in
saying.
a way, yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't it fluky last time too? I feel like Ember Moon didn't win legitimately last time, or I shouldn't say legitimately, but kind of escaped.
I don't.
I'm actually
I don't-
I'm
I
gonna
don't
turn the
remember.
tables and I'm gonna go Shayna Baszler. I think this is a way to start the Ember Moon to WWE route. Yeah, I think. Although it might not be the best thing, I think that I just feel like that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So the tag team match, you got Undisputed Era, Authors of Pain, Roderick Strong, and Pete Dunne.
Ooh, that's a really good. That's a hard decision to
That is
make.
hard.
I don't think Undisputed Era is going to win, though, because of Adam Cole wrestling twice. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with Pete Dunne and who is
Roderick Strong.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go with Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong.
What do
I
you
like Pete Dunne, man. Pete Dunne is good. He's a
good.
bruiser.
Yeah, I've only seen him wrestle one match.
Super young. If you watch the UK Classic, man, really, really good guy. Really good wrestler.
He had a match with who's it? Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate.
Salute to Tyler Bate for dating Liv
I was
Morgan.
just gonna
That's
say the same thing.
That's the only thing I know Tyler Bate for anymore
Yeah,
now.
Tyler Bate.
And the mustache.
Him and Pete Dunne had an amazing match at one of the NXT pay-per-views back in the day. So
yeah.
almost a must-watch. So who are you going with, Eric?
Authors of Pain.
Authors of Pain. I am going to go with the Undisputed Era. We'll switch it up. I think the reason is I think the real tag team champions are Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. So I think they're going to keep them on that. Because I think something else might happen with Adam Cole a little later in the show. So, and we'll turn to that match right now. There's a ladder match between Adam Cole, EC3,
this
Killian
is so
Dane,
difficult.
Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and the Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream, bro.
I'll start out this. I think Adam Cole wins that match. I think they're gonna You said he could be an NXT champion. I think they're gonna put a championship on him, but it's gonna be the NXT North American Championship.
Being the opportunities that EC3 is, I'm going to have to go with EC3.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
Velveteen Dream, man. He is starting to become super over, and I think this is a test run for him. How are you going to do with one title first, the North American title, huge title, first title for the brand, and then we'll test you again for your NXT championship. And then after that, if he passes that test, man, you're on the main roster, but Vince is going to screw him up. I mean, like, you already know Vince is
Shattering their dreams.
The thing about the
He's
Velveteen
going to call
Dream-
him the
yeah.
Black Goldust. He's going to be like the Black Goldust, man. He's going to be like, you're the Black Goldust. God.
The thing about Velveteen Dream, he's so young though. I don't feel like he's gonna go up to the main roster for a while.
How old is the
I
Velveteen
think
Dream?
he's like my age, 22. I think he's like
He's very,
young.
very young.
He's young.
He's got a lot of time left.
Yeah. So he has a lot of time. I see him sticking around for at least 2 years in NXT. I think he's still, as a wrestler, I think he's somewhat green too. So I don't think you want to push him up to the main roster when he's not ready yet. Okay, and the main event. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Who wins the match, Ryan?
Gargano. But I just want to say this.
Unsanctioned match, by the way. Unsanctioned. So this is going to be brutal. It's going to be hardcore. It's going to be good.
This is why I say that whichever has the best build should be your main event. This needs to be the main event. Because if it has the better build, if it's the most anticipated match on the show, it needs to go on last.
Well, really quick, too. Okay, about this match. So it's an unsanctioned match. And I see this is where the storylines get me. So this is what it says. It says if Gargano wins, he will be reinstated to NXT. So for some reason he got fired or something.
He got fired because he didn't. I know this. He got fired because he lost. He said he told Andre Cien Almas, if I lose this title match, his second title match after that NXT takeover, he was going to get fired. He would leave NXT.
So maybe that's why one of the reasons he's been coming out of the crowd and stuff.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it says if Ciampa wins, Gargano will be banned from NXT forever. So what I see, I'll let you give your opinion on this. What I see with that is that's an obvious Gargano's probably going to win the match because there's no. It's like somewhat like the Owens and Sami Zayn thing. I expect them to probably win their match at WrestleMania because really, are you going to not have Owens and Sami Zayn
on SmackDown Live with that small of a roster?
Yeah, especially after that great promo work they did on SmackDown the other night. Oh, coming out of the crowd, just just talking crap.
We're sorry,
Just
Bree.
saying stuff about Birdie and Brie Bella and Kevin Owens. Just that
was great.
when he just yells on the mic, it's great. But so I think Gargano. I think that's a dead giveaway. I think Gargano wins this match. What are you going with?
I'm going to have to go with Gargano as well.
Yes, we finally agree on the main event.
Hey, real quickly,
Yeah.
I heard also from this wrestler podcaster. He said that Johnny Gargano is Daniel Bryan 2.0. Is that true? Do you believe that?
I think he's 2.0, but I think he's a 2.0. I think Daniel Bryan's still the best wrestler in the world.
If
in
they
my
have
opinion.
if they have them together, I think Daniel Bryan would beat him.
Yeah, no,
That's a dream match right there. Gargano versus Bryan.
Number one, because I think Daniel Bryan not only has the wrestling skills, but found a way to be the most over wrestler in the entire company. And I think he'll be the most over wrestler for years to come, now that he obviously can wrestle again. But when you got your GM coming out and the entire crowd's almost more excited to see him than half the SmackDown Live roster, it wasn't a good thing. It was a good thing for Daniel Bryan. I think Gargano will never get that over. So I think he's Daniel Bryan 2.0. But he's 2.0. He's never going to be Daniel Bryan 1.0. That's all I think.
Yeah, and he has to get a better character behind him when he gets up to that main wrestler. All his thing is Johnny wrestling.
Exactly.
And that reminds me of Daniel Bryan when he got up. Oh, he's just a great wrestler. But Daniel Bryan found his personality.
That's what I'm saying.
He found his personality with
yes
Team
movement.
Hell No, the Yes Movement, all those things. He found his personality over time. But Johnny Gargano, he's winning this matchup. Fantastic storyline. Like I said, it's an old age feud with a new age twist. With Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa.
It's going to be an
I
amazing
love
match,
it.
and
It's
that's
gonna
the
be
night
dope.
before WrestleMania.
That's the night before. Let's talk about the day. Actually,
Well,
no.
no, we got a couple break segments here. We got I'll let you do your Ryan rants right now.
Really?
We're
Right
doing
now?
Ryan rants.
All right.
Right now.
Turn my mic on.
Turn his mic on. Right, this is Ryan rants.
Take it away.
Man, I just don't understand it. I look on my phone earlier this week, and I see that we have a 7-hour WrestleMania. A 7-hour WrestleMania. So I look at it. First, you have a 2-hour pre-show match. Pre-show with matches and Sam Roberts and whatnot. And then you have 5 hours of a freaking show that is going to be a lot of filler in there. I just don't understand why we have to have 7 hours of wrestling. It just doesn't make any sense, personally. And also, Vince McMahon, the build-up for this WrestleMania has been bad. You know what I feel like? I feel like we're the wife in the relationship, okay? That's what I feel like.
the sexist comments.
Why are you treating us like Linda, okay? Why are you treating us like Linda? Because, at the end of the day, I feel like you're taking advantage of us. Like, you know that we're always going to be there every year for WrestleMania. We're going to come there. We're going to show up to show out. We're going to pay our money. But at the end of the day, you don't care about how we get there. You don't care about the romance. You don't care about the road before. The road to WrestleMania is not as good as it once was, man. So what are we doing, man? I saw Raw this week, and Raw was a complete disaster. It was awful. It was terrible. I don't know if it was because of the NCAA championship game. I don't know if it was because we figured, we're getting their money at WrestleMania. Maybe it's because of the network. There's so many reasons why Raw has been bad lately on the road to WrestleMania. We can spend the whole podcast talking about it. The fact of the matter is this. He knows that we're going to get our money. He's going to get our money at WrestleMania. So there's no reason to build. And he also knows that we're going to sit through 7 hours of wrestling. I can't do 7 hours of wrestling, man. I'm going to be getting up, taking a piss multiple times. I'm going to be eating multiple times. Like, I don't know what you want. Like, 7 hours of wrestling is just too much. And what it does is it kills the main matches because the crowd is just exhausted. Like, when AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura comes out there, I'm afraid they're not going to have a crowd reaction. A lot of the times at WrestleMania, there's not a freaking there's not energy to these matches. There's not energy to these entrances. And the reason why is because this crowd has to sit through 7 hours of this. And if they're pre-gaming, if they're actually getting there beforehand, 8 to 9 to 10 hours. WrestleMania is an event. It's an event all day. It's just really, really tough. I think we need to do less is more. We just talked about NXT, right? NXT only has 5 matches. What was one of your best WrestleManias ever? It was WrestleMania 31. We just looked this up, Nick. It was only 7 matches.
Yeah.
7 matches. I don't understand it. Why have 14 matches? Because at this point in the game, we missed Sasha Banks and Bayley because they said to themselves, hey, we would much rather, allegedly, sabotage ourselves and do a match at a bigger event and a bigger show. And if the match isn't for the title, which I agree, it shouldn't be happening. So we're going to get Sasha Banks and Bayley at a non-WrestleMania event. It should be happening at WrestleMania, and it should be for the title. That's what it should be happening. That's what should be happening. But unfortunately, we're getting Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, which is the definition of pre-show. That's the definition of, okay, I'm going to go grab a beer or I'm going to go take a piss break real quick. Okay, I'm sorry, all right? And I'm not being sexist. I'm speaking the truth. This is going to be a terrible match with two subpar performers, okay?
Oh, Alexa
They're two
Bliss is
hold on. My segment,
Alexa
my
Bliss
rules.
is subpar.
She's the definition of subpar, okay? Her looks is way above par. Her looks is a 10. Her wrestling's a 5. Okay, so let's stop it. Okay, let's stop with the 7-hour pre-shows, Vince. Okay, let's actually build this thing up. Okay, all right, because at the end of the day, foreplay is fantastic. All right, it makes the event so much better. Okay, it makes the event a hell of a lot better. All right, that's what I've heard. Okay, and at the end of the day, let's all ask ourselves this. All right, let's all consider this. Less is more, okay? I'm the RKJ Man, and I'm always shooting my shot at greatness.
Boom!
Damn.
Another good rant.
And you weren't even hungry
from
today.
Ryan.
Oh, no, I was starving.
I completely disagree with the Alexa Bliss comment. I think she's a great
Do you agree
worker.
about foreplay, though?
I could agree with that, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Great rant.
Awesome.
So we will
Pretty good.
now move to Eric's indie update. Eric, tell us what's going on WrestleMania weekend.
Well, with all this madness in WrestleMania weekend, we got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, man. On SiriusXM, Nick Aldis went back on air, but this time he was actually accompanied by a certain somebody and a Hall of Famer. Happens to be Mark Henry. Now, Mark Henry was actually praising Nick Aldis' performances. He liked the fact that he carries himself as a champion. He respects everything that Nick does, and he tells him to watch out for those sharks out there. And when he meant by sharks, I think he was mentioning Billy Corgan, because he believes that guys like Billy Corgan, all these promoters are sharks. So, wow, I gotta say, Mark, some bold words right there from the Hall of Famer. And before you're getting inducted, man. Jeez, I don't know. But either way, Nick Aldis, yes, cool champion. He praises the fact that he had a great match with him and Tommy Dreamer at the House of Hardcore show. So, yeah, definitely watch that match if you want to check it out. And also check out that interview as well. And also, in the NWA, Joe Cephas invited Crimson into his classroom and offers Crimson a deal. Now, this deal happens to be he will give Crimson the NWA Championship title shot if he joins Joe Cephas's kingdom. And, looking at this feud between, Joe Cephas, to me, he has like this cult-like appearance to him. Like he's the kind of guy who would be with Bray Wyatt by his side, or be like some sort of a spiritual advisor to Bray Wyatt in a way. So it's kind of creepy at the same time. Yeah. Either way, Joe Cephas, his promos are actually pretty good. Actually, his promos are actually a lot better than what's happening on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I think, me personally. And over with Ring of Honor, we all know that Super Card of Honor is coming up I believe, this Saturday. So, yes, get your tickets out there, because the Briscoes are going to go up against Jay Lethal and Tanahashi. The SoCal Uncensored are going to go against the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. Also, Sumi Saki is going to go up against a woman that we know, Tennille Dashwood. We all know her as Emma. Yeah, she is on Ring of Honor now. And also, we have the world title, Dalton Castle versus Marty Scurll. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his first name correctly. And, of course, the main event, Kenny Omega versus Cody.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be the main event. And also, over at WrestleCon this weekend, oh my God, this is going to be stacked, because the Lucha Underground wrestlers are going to go up against Impact Wrestling superstars. And also, a huge number of wrestlers are going to be at WrestleCon. So I'm going to give out all these names, so be prepared.
Here we go.
So, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Velvet Sky, Sting, Trish and Lita, Mick Foley, Harley Race, Sid Vicious, Melina, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, Mean Gene Okerlund, Tori Wilson, Rob Van Dam, Vader, C.W. Anderson, Coco Beware, Kelly Kelly, D'Lo Brown, Jazz,
goodness.
Gangrel, Stevie Ray, Sabu, Savio Vega, Carlito Caribbean Cool, Godfather, Dan Severin, Farouk, Bob Holly, Jerry Lynn, Cole Boom Boom Cabana, and so much more.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I should have got those tickets to WrestleMania now.
Well, yeah, same thing's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
But I heard actually Kevin Nash is throwing some big party on Bourbon Street, like NWO style.
Kevin
Yeah,
Nash.
Scott Hall
He's gonna
not
be there,
invited.
yeah.
But
Yeah, Scott Hall, don't come to this
Scott
party,
Hall,
man.
come on.
Don't come to this party, man.
No, but so I heard that he
In
actually,
loving memory of Scott Hall the next day. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that, man. We don't want to see that,
It's funny
man.
because it's true. No,
We don't want to see that. We love you too much, man.
Apparently, he had he only had just one little bar, and he actually had to rent out extra space above the bar, balconies, multiple other bars because of how many people wanted to come to his big thing that's happening. So, hey, if you're at WrestleMania, if you're in New Orleans, head over to Kevin Nash's
Also,
party.
if you can't pick up a girl and you're a wrestling fan, please watch Kevin Nash's pickup. Please watch it on K-Fab commentaries on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Shout out to Kayfabe Commentaries.
He's big sexy for a reason, okay?
I don't know who that guy is. We got to get him on the podcast one day because he's awesome. He's great.
What's his name? Sean something?
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Shout out to Sean. Yeah, I think he lives in New York, so it might be hard. But
No, geez.
all right, hey, guess that was a great segment because I
Via
did not
Skype, man. We
know
can
all
do it
that
via
stuff was
Skype.
happening. So, guys, it's time to finally predict WrestleMania. We have, was it 13 matches on this card right now, and then I think we'll confidently predict a potential John Cena Undertaker match, which is not announced on the card, but we think it's gonna happen, so we'll predict it anyways just in case it happens.
Okay.
But so how do we want to do this? We want to go through the matches like we did in NXT and just kind of talk about them.
I don't. I want to highlight the main
Okay,
matches. What
that's
are the
fair.
main matches?
Well,
that
let's
we're looking at
let's
tonight?
do this. Let's look over some of the main matches, and then kind of in the middle of that, go over the ones that we'll debate. Who do you think wins? Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the final. So let's not start with the main events.
Start with the pre-shows first.
Well, yeah, we can start with the pre-shows. I think they'll go real quick. So you got the two battle royals. We'll make it simple. Who do we think wins the battle royals? Both of them.
I think I'm picking Broken Matt Hardy and
Okay,
the
interesting.
Andre the Giant. And I think something will happen with Bray Wyatt later on. And then in the women's battle royal, who's in there again?
Bailey, Sasha
Oh, I
Banks,
think
Every woman
it's
except for Alexa Bliss.
My
and-
bad.
Lynch.
It's between Bailey and Sasha Banks. I think Bailey is going to win it, and I think the next night we're getting a heel turn from Sasha
Bailey?
Banks.
Oh, yeah. From Sasha Banks.
We're getting a full-fledged heel turn.
Now, if Matt Hardy's gonna enter the Battle Royal, are we gonna expect to see Brother Nero in the
Dude,
Battle
that's
Royal?
a good point.
I don't want to see Brother Nero. I think
We know
Brother
you don't
Nero.
want to see Brother Nero, but I think you're in the lonesome there.
I think Brother Nero comes back the night after WrestleMania.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
As obsolete.
Who do you think wins, Eric? Who do you think wins the matches?
Okay, so on the men's, I'm going for Baron Corbin again.
Double champ.
Yeah, I'm going for Baron Corbin. He's my guy. Unless Mojo gets an upset victory, and we're gonna see Gronk again in live.
Well, what if Gronk's actually in the match this year? That could happen.
Like a surprise.
He would have to be officially retired from the
and
Patriots.
the Patriots got less receivers this year too. They just traded one away, so
Right.
maybe
Yeah,
it's not the best choice for him to go
Yeah,
over
it's
there.
probably not the best choice. If I was New England, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. So, so you said, and then for the women's,
For the women's, I will say that Sasha and Bailey are going to be the last two, and I think what's going to happen is that Sasha's going to win it, but she's unless Bailey she gets distracted by eliminating somebody, I think by the likes of Sonya Deville, and then after that Sasha will come in and then throw her out as an opportunity.
so you think Sasha wins?
I think Sasha will
Okay,
win.
Sasha wins. I'm gonna go with Bailey as well. I think you made good points about the fact that that's been the rivalry they've been kind of pushing, and that's the only.
And that's what it's been built around.
Well, that's the
of.
only storyline that's really been built for any of these battle royals. I mean, the men's is different, and then I think for the men's, I think it's gonna be Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler wins that one. I think he's clearly the best performer in that match, so I think he wins. I think they want to put a nice name on, and it might lead to stuff for Dolph Ziggler later in the year. Okay, so to finish out the pre-show, Hey, this is one of my most underrated matches on this WrestleMania. One of the ones I'm actually looking forward to.
Oh, this should have been on the damn card.
Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I am gonna go.
Thank
with,
you, Enzo Amore.
I'm gonna go with Mustafa Ali because I feel like this is somewhat of a push for him. He kind of came out of nowhere to be in this match. He's a great performer, has one of the best finishers in wrestling right now. So I'm gonna go Mustafa Ali, the Chicago product, winning the Cruiserweight title.
I'm gonna go with Cedric Alexander, man. I think he has a great look. I think he's a great talent. He's got a really good story behind him. So I think Cedric Alexander is someone who definitely deserves to win the Cruiserweight Championship. I think now is his time, but they've done a fantastic job building up this thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much nobody's been really watching.
Thank you, Enzo.
I mean, thank you, Enzo. Thank you.
In the room.
The realest guy in the room.
How you doing?
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can say.
The realest guy in the bedroom.
No.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
I said it.
Allegedly.
You heard it
The
first.
realest guy in the room.
You heard it first.
In the bed.
But seriously, I'm going for.
Yeah, sorry. Seriously.
No worries. Yeah, seriously. Now we're getting a little bit, down to business.
It's always get sexual at some point in this podcast.
I'm gonna have to go with. Alexander on this one. There's more promise to Alexander with the Cruiserweight title.
So now we'll move on to the main card in the match that Ryan thinks should be on the pre-show. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss.
I just want to say this, man. Y'all better be prepared. We've been warning y'all for a month. Nia Jax might not get as cheered as they want her to get cheered as.
Well,
I'm sorry. Alexa Bliss is going to get cheered like a mug.
I'll say this, but I don't think Nia Jax is going to get booed. She might not get that, but
if she has a bad performance, if she starts,
she's been doing good lately.
If she drops Alexa Bliss on her head or does something stupid, I saw her almost kill Asuka on Raw twice or 3 times. Like literally, that look Nia Jax gave after you mess up, it's like scary.
Killing on live TV.
Yeah, you want to see killing on live television? I mean, when you end up on Botchamania multiple times, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so I'm very concerned. I don't think this match is going to go the way the WWE wants it to be. They want it to be a whole, be a star, women, Me Too movement type of thing.
Shaming's bad.
Yeah. I'm just going to let you know this. They are going to root for Alexa Bliss because we said this time and time again on the podcast. It's hard for women to be heels because if you're hot, we're not going to boo you. We're going to cheer you.
Absolutely
Come on,
not.
man. Come on. Give me Nia Jax.
So who do you think wins, Ryan?
I just said it. Give me Nia Jax.
Okay, there you go.
Because I think that's what they want to go with. They want to go with the feel-good moment at WrestleMania, but Alexa Bliss will get cheered. She will get cheered out of the building.
You make good points. Unless Mickie James gets herself involved in the match, Alexa will probably win. But if I was the creative and I had to agree with a lot of the guys, then I had to go with Nia Jax on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Nia Jax too. This is I don't see Nia Jax deserves to have the title about now, and Alexa Bliss has had it for longer than she needed. Anyways, I think she's had it for 3 or 4 months.
What?
More
yeah.
Than she
I thought you said 3 or 4. No, she's had it since last year.
No, but that's what I'm saying. She's had it for a long time. I think it's Nia Jax's time. Nia Jax has gotten better in the ring, although she still does occasionally drop people on their heads and stuff like that.
And that division is going down ever since Nia Jax.
Well,
not Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss has been champion.
Yeah, you need that dominant forces champion, and I think Nia Jax literally is that.
Now, do you think Carmella can interfere
in the Raw match?
Oh, man.
Well, I brought this up back in the day. I would hope she does, but she's been doing the SmackDown stuff. I don't know what that Money in the Bank entails. That's the funny thing.
The thing is,
that would be amazing, and that's a good thing to bring up.
This is like originally with Edge. Originally, nobody mentions this. They just rewrite the rules, and everybody forgot that he even had the briefcase.
Yeah.
But it was originally for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then the World Heavyweight Championship moved to SmackDown, and John Cena came to Raw. So it automatically became for the WWE Championship. And then they changed the clause where they can go after any championship at any choosing. So I would have to imagine Carmella has the opportunity.
Well, here's the other thing
to go
but
to Raw.
We've been talking about a possible the pay-per-views not being brand exclusive anymore after this WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be where we see the Carmella switch over to Raw, like that kind of thing.
Well, there is a shakeup happening.
That's
probably.
well, no, but that not only
Or
that,
draft.
not only that. So I think that might be one of the reasons why she doesn't cash in this Money in the Bank. She might get involved. I don't think she'll actually cash in or fail to do the because I think they'll wait. They'll either put her on Raw or they'll have her do it to somebody else. I don't think. They'll have her ruin that match or anything. Although it'd be damn interesting if she broke Asuka's streak. I'll tell you that.
Unless you get,
That's nuclear heat right there, man.
Nuclear heat. That's right, exactly. Yeah.
unless she'll get kicked in the face and then she'll fail with the Money in the Bank. And even if she does, I got to ask you this question, Ryan. Even if she does get that real heat and she does end Asuka's streak, will you still be a fan of Carmella?
Oh, absolutely, positively.
I will give her.
I just don't like the fact that she's a Patriots fan. That's the only thing I don't like about her.
That's a good point.
She seems she does seem a little stuck up on social media a little bit. But
she's from the area, though. It's fair.
Doesn't matter.
It's not just she's not one of these fair weather fans.
She's bandwagon
here in Southern California.
She's bandwagon. They're all bandwagon. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
So we'll move over to the other women's match we just started talking about a little bit. Charlotte Flair and Asuka. This is a dream match for
terrible build because these two women can't talk.
Yep.
And in Asuka's case, she literally can't talk. Yeah. And that's not being
for Asuka.
That's not being racist. That's just being truth. She shouldn't be on the microphone.
Same for Charlotte.
But I think this will be a fantastic match. I think the bill will be great. I hope to God we don't see a Carmella interference in this. I think that's why I think you're more likely to see Alexa and Nia Jax be interfered by Carmella than in this match, because this is a dream match. Everybody's looking forward to this match, and this will be a great showcase for the women. And this starts the build officially to Ronda Rousey versus Asuka at next year's WrestleMania.
So you're saying Asuka wins?
Asuka definitely wins.
Doesn't end?
The streak stays alive, baby, until next year in New York.
Oh yeah. Well, I know they will try to. I know for the women's part, they're going to try to match up with Nakamura and AJ Styles. I think this is like their way of showing this is our AJ Styles and Nakamura
This is
version.
our white person versus Asian person.
Yeah.
Dude, put that on the sound bites immediately.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, to me, I'm going to go with the House of the Rising Sun. She's going to take the win the. She's going to win the belt.
The Empress.
Originally, I thought.
She's going to take it.
Originally, I thought that Flair might end the streak, but I think they want to push Asuka, and I think Asuka's, she's been whooping everybody's ass lately. So I think Asuka wins.
Real quickly, do you think they should do Rousey versus Asuka next year? Or do they think they should do Rousey versus Charlotte Flair next year? Do you think that will be the bigger match?
Well, okay, but if you think that's going to happen, you probably think Charlotte wins the title.
Well, if you
not this Sunday.
If I was the creative, I'd have Charlotte versus Rousey at a SummerSlam pay-per-view, because that's also WWE's second biggest pay-per-view.
That's a good point. Yeah.
SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam.
Ronda Rousey's full-time talent.
Well,
so
I was saying.
Like she's going away.
Well, I was saying you can have, because SummerSlam is more for the really hardcore fans. You can have Asuka versus Rousey, but if you want to draw in casuals, you want to have a big-time WrestleMania match, and people know the name Flair. Charlotte Flair versus Rousey. That's why I said Rousey versus Flair was the bigger matchup for next year's WrestleMania, and that could main event next year's WrestleMania, but we're getting far ahead of ourselves.
Exactly.
Asuka is winning this year's SmackDown Live's Women's Championship. You don't have your first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner lose in her matchup.
I'm going to change my pick. I'm going Charlotte. I think Charlotte wins this Sunday. Because you brought up the fact that Charlotte and Ronda Rousey might have that match later. I think that's a way to end the streak. Also, the thing with Asuka's streak is all of these matches are kind of see-through somewhat. She's undefeated. We are looking towards... So I think they might want to end that and make it more unpredictable with Asuka. I talk about this a lot. Unpredictability in wrestling is a good thing. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair. I think they'll want to end that stuff where we just, mixed match challenge. Okay, Asuka's winning every match. The Monday Night Raw, she's winning every match. Every pay-per-view. So
wait, how's that fair? How come she goes to Raw and SmackDown?
They haven't
because she's a Raw superstar, and then she builds for the SmackDown.
Yeah, and plus, like when you were a Rumble, you get special privileges like that. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I think. But you're right. It makes no damn sense.
So I'm going Flair. You guys are going Asuka. Both picks. It's a tough match to pick because you don't know what's going to happen next year. But okay, so move on to the tag teams. We'll do these real quick. So you got the triple threat tag team. I think this will be a banger of a match. Possible show stealer. I'm going to go. I think the Usos just retain their title in this match. This match has been kind of crazily built, and I don't see the New Day winning, and I think the Bludgeon Brothers are a little too new to be not new. Their characters are new, so I think that the Usos bring the Uso Penitentiary to New Orleans.
I think it's gonna be Bludgeon Brothers, man. Give me something new and fresh.
I had to go with the Samoan homies out there for myself.
The Usos. So, and then the Raw tag team match. First, who the hell is Braun Strowman's tag team partner? We still don't know. Here's your best guesses. Best guesses. Yeah.
Dang. Samoa Joe.
Yes. I had to agree. Samoa Joe. If it's Samoa Joe, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe. But then again, Bray Wyatt has been missing, so we might.
That makes the most sense storyline, logical wise.
Yeah.
It does because Bray Wyatt was his former. He started off with Bray Wyatt, so that to me that makes more sense.
I'm gonna go a little bit of a wild card on this one because I think Samoa Joe that's a good one, and even the Bray Wyatt thing makes sense.
Jason Jordan.
No, absolutely not. I saw this guy just sign a new contract. I think the Big Show might be his tag team partner, and you have a double big man tag team. I do think though Cesaro and Sheamus will still win the titles. I don't think Braun Strowman's winning.
No,
the titles.
I think Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman could do this by himself. He could just say "F it." I'm gonna.
But he doesn't have match though. They said if he doesn't have a tag team partner, he's not. The match isn't happening.
That man's Braun Strowman. That man can do whatever the hell he wants.
He could just beat the hell out of Kurt Angle.
He freaking almost killed Kane. Yeah. He pulled up the whole Raw. Yeah, he pulled down the whole Raw set on Brock Lesnar and Kane. He's done multiple things. He almost killed Roman too.
Yeah,
get these hands.
Someone's getting these hands. Maybe even his tag team partner.
All right, let's keep going. Keep going.
Wait, so you think?
Braun Strowman in them.
And who do you think wins?
Braun Strowman is mystery partner.
Okay, there you go. So you guys are going with a wild card.
Short match though.
I expect that too. Yeah, I don't think that's big. Okay, so moving on. Let's see. Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, mixed tag team match. We'll stick with the tag team.
This is as simple as it gets. It's
Absolutely.
Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey winning, but you got to be careful with Ronda Rousey, man. I'm serious about this.
Another short match.
She's coming off as a heel more and more, both in the ring and outside of the ring. I don't know if you saw that freaking ESPN thing that I sent y'all in the group chat last week. Her being on First Take and everything like that. She is not acting very professional when somebody brings up her loss. And I think the announcers are purposely doing it to her too, to bait her.
That's good journalism. That's good journalism. You're supposed to ask the hard questions. She's the one saying she's going on Ellen saying she's going to kill herself after she loses. You got to ask her the question. I'm just saying.
I'm just going to let you know this right now. Don't expect the best reaction in New Orleans.
I agree.
Or even the night after.
She doesn't deserve it.
The night after, I feel sorry. I don't think she should appear on Raw the night after, to be honest with you. That's a dangerous thing. And you might want to keep Roman off. We'll talk about that in a second.
Shoot.
I also do fear for Kurt Angle's safety on this one.
Oh, God. Triple H is going to kill him.
That neck?
Yeah. That neck.
He looks like he's dying, in the ring. Anytime he walks down there.
You're so harsh about Kurt Angle.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying, I just can't stand to watch a man who I grew up watching and loving with the three eyes and everything.
Pills.
And he just looks terrible. He looks awful. My brother one time said Kurt Angle looked like he was on crack cocaine. It is not funny. It's not funny.
No,
and I'm not trying to demean Kurt Angle and but
He's not trying to demean Kurt
I'm
Angle.
just trying
Are you
to
kidding
I'm
me?
trying to say Kurt Angle doesn't look good and he shouldn't be wrestling, man. There should be somebody else. It should have been Braun Strowman in this match. Anyway, Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon wrestle and what will be Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey wrestle and win and what should be a very, very disgusting match. A complete disaster.
You do realize that table that Stephanie put Ronda, they said that it was actually pre-broken, that there was dents in the table.
Every table's somewhat pre-broken.
Yeah, and the way Ronda Rousey took that bump too, we need to tell her, hey, extend your arms. Please extend your arms. Extend your arms and don't look at her
when you get shot, how are you supposed to land, dude? When you get shot or stabbed.
Because naturally you want to break your fall, so put your arms out and don't look at her like she had a scrunchy leg.
This is hilarious.
Her scrunchy laugh, her scrunchy face. Oh my God,
Oh,
we gotta keep going, man.
She's got the ultimate resting bitch face all the time.
Oh my God.
Even when she gets like put through a table, she's like looking up at Stephanie like, "Ooh,
But
you
it's-
took my candy."
And by the way, she got up really quickly after she got like, what the heck, man?
Rhonda doesn't know what the hell she's
I
doing.
like, don't. You need to stay there and sell the effects at the table.
You know what?
Like,
Just because of how bad a seller she is, I hope Triple H's pedigrees are right in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania.
I do kind of
Yeah.
hope for that, but I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, so
Yeah. Who do you think wins the match, Eric?
oh man,
Who do you think wins?
I'm gonna have to go with Rousey and Angle.
You don't screw it. I'm going Triple H, Stephanie, McMahon to win the match. I think Ronda Rousey's gonna look so bad. Triple H and Stephanie win the damn match, but they're like, you know what? Enough. Triple H's win-loss record sucks. He's just gonna be like, no, we're not letting this. I'm just kidding. I'm going
hope-
Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle.
I just hope they prove us wrong. They prove us wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be but good laugh is
I
occasionally
feel
good
bad
for
about
WrestleMania.
saying Kurt Angle looks that bad, but he shouldn't be wrestling.
Like
I'm sorry, Kurt, and I'm
the
not
truth.
trying to.
It's the truth.
I'm
Just
not
like-
trying to defame your name or slander you because I don't want to get sued. But
He's not gonna get sued.
I'm just saying, like, Kurt Angle, come on, man. Why are we? You know what? It's not Kurt Angle's fault. It's the WWE's fault. I blame Vince and them. Don't have this man wrestle, man.
Okay, speaking of guys with head and neck problems, Daniel Bryan and Shane
Yeah.
McMahon
God.
versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
First
It's
of-
the injured team versus the fired team this weekend.
Let's ask this question real quick. Do you think Shane McMahon is even gonna make it to WrestleMania? Diverticulitis, man, he got over that
No,
quick,
he is.
man.
I think he'll just have a limited
He's
role.
Iron Man.
I think people want to see Daniel Bryan in the damn match anyways. So
Do you think he's turning heel? Do you think Shane McMahon is turning heel to just get
Could.
them to just
real quick, I just saw something that said Kyrie Irving is out for the playoffs. Sorry to interrupt.
That's
It's
completely
random, but that's
completely
a pretty big deal
random.
for the,
but
for the NBA.
I guess LeBron is doing it again.
Yeah,
but
LeBron's getting over there. They have
There we
Cavs
go
are going
again.
Finals again.
Nick, I'm gonna start watching hockey, man, because I can't do the
Hockey's
NBA,
good.
man.
Hockey's good. Hockey's fun to watch,
We
man.
go to a Ducks game, bro.
Yeah, Ducks and
They
Kings
played
both just made the
yesterday.
playoffs last night.
Oh, they both
they
they're
both
in?
made the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a little insider. Sorry about that,
we're
but
gonna go watch the Ducks game.
I just want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle. I want to see him do his moves. I want to see him get all his stuff. Get your shit over. That's what a lot of people say. I think he does that. I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win the match, though.
Oh yeah, they're gonna find a way to win. They're probably gonna isolate.
I mean, they're better.
Shane McMahon. They're probably gonna play up his injury with diverticulitis. They're gonna hit him in the
There's
stomach
no
a
way
whole bunch
Daniel
of
Bryan
times.
gets pinned. There's no way.
Oh no, yeah, he gets pinned. Like the crowd's gonna riot. So it's gonna be ECW.
So okay, so moving on, we got the two kind of mid card title matches. I'll start with the U.S. title. You get the Fatal 4-Way: Orton, Rude, Mahal, and Rusev.
Tank might come out. By the way,
I think Rusev might win this match.
I got Rusev too.
I think he's most over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Rusev, I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but Rusev was actually pretty unhappy about his position right now in WWE. He's not really happy where he's at. Yeah, he's actually his merchandise is actually selling pretty good. He's doing pretty good, but yeah, it looks like Rusev looks like he's gonna be. I don't know. I don't want to say he's leaving, but he's not really comfortable with his position, so I fear for him. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Rusev.
Yeah. Another reason why he might win the title. Is they wanna...
You got Rusev, right?
I got Rusev.
Okay, Nick. All right.
Who
Cool.
you got?
Yeah, I got Rusev.
Oh, you get Rusev. You already said.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's
It's Rusev Day on WrestleMania Sunday.
He's the most over guy, although Orton and Rude seem pretty over too. That I think Rusev is just, he deserves the title. He needs the WrestleMania moment. Triple threat. I think this might steal the show. I think a lot of people have said this. You got for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Miz versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I am gonna go with Seth Rollins.
I wanna
think
see
Seth
the-
Rollins wins this match.
I want to see the Demon Finn Balor. I'm picking Finn
I don't
Balor
think
to
that's gonna
win.
happen.
We'll see. We'll see. He did call him Prince Devitt,
Yeah.
and that could be a call.
Maybe he
for,
comes out as Prince Devitt.
Yeah. Did we expect him to come out as the Demon at SummerSlam?
Well, I think it was booked that way.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't think he's going to come out as. I don't think, like I said, I don't think you change your gimmick when you've been booked as something else the entire time.
No, he
Goes
can
back to the
change
beginning.
it.
It all comes full
Special,
circle, right?
special WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as much as I love Seth Rollins, and he did call him Tyler Black, Miz did call him.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might see him as his ring gear from Ring of Honor. But here's the thing: Seth Rollins doesn't have like any other gimmick besides just him being
Seth Rollins. Seth
So
freaking
we
Rollins.
could see him as with old Ring of Honor gear. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
because he's the way the old.
That boy bland.
So Seth, I actually hope he wears the all white. That was when he was most over, and the all white was always awesome for me.
Power Ranger, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He still was over. But so I think Seth Rollins wins that match.
Remind me
All
of
right,
MVP.
moving on to the main events of the evening. We will start with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but I think this is more predictable as far as the main events, as far as us.
Reigns wins.
Reigns.
Hey, I just want to say this, though. I heard there's a theory or rumor going around, which I think is completely fake news, but it's apparently being that Paul Heyman could turn on Brock Lesnar and align himself with Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, because we think Reigns is going to win the match, so this is more the predictions are going to be what happens after this. Does Brock Lesnar leave for the UFC?
Yes.
You think he does?
Definitely.
I think he does too. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be right away, but I think you're right. I think he'll have another fight. His suspension's over.
I think his
with the
contract
UFC.
ends in August. So do you want to have?
So you could have SummerSlam.
Do you want
match
to? Do you want to have one more match? Maybe. I think there is money to be made in a Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar match.
That's true.
A
Yeah.
true David versus Goliath match.
But that doesn't mean he can't go to UFC.
He can sign some type of deal where he can wrestle for the WWE, and when he goes to wrestle for or does something with UFC, they can freeze his. They did that in 2016.
Yeah.
They froze his contract. I believe.
Well, the
that's
one
what I
thing you
heard.
were-
They're not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah.
The one thing you worry about with that though is that if he were to somehow get injured and then you have booked this Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar match and it gets ruined because he gets hurt. So I think you'd have to have him.
Well,
I
you
think,
don't have him. You have him do that when he's not being booked for anything major.
Yeah, like they did last time.
Yeah.
You're right.
Plain and simple. Brock Lesnar does what he wants. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
true.
his thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so then, so you think, dude, that Paul Heyman thing's that's interesting. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I don't think
do
it's gonna
think Paul
happen.
Heyman eventually aligns with Ronda Rousey, though.
I think that's got to happen.
Yeah.
You've got to put Paul Heyman with Ronda Rousey, but he cannot align with her unless she goes full-fledged heel. She could turn on Kurt Angle after the match. She can say, you know what, I don't need you. I don't need these fans.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Well,
going
well,
to
then-
be,
yeah.
She could have said she was
better
using
off,
Kurt
yeah.
Angle
How about this?
for his experience
Yeah.
and his knowledge, and now she's going to use that knowledge to completely destroy the WWE and take it apart.
Moving back to that match real quick, think about this. What if Triple H and Stephanie were somehow to win this match? Let's say Triple H pins Kurt Angle, but Stephanie's not pinning Ronda Rousey. And then Ronda Rousey's like, that's the way she could turn on Kurt. But you didn't even, I lost my wrestling debut.
At
Turns on him,
WrestleMania.
turns heel. It could happen. You never know.
It could happen.
I'm
and
still
that would
going
be
to go
great
I'm
booking.
still going to go Rousey and
That'd be
Angle.
great booking,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they're going to do that. I think at the end of the day, she's going to win her matchup,
Yeah.
and I know what they're doing. They're stubborn. They're going to have to wait until she is completely and totally booed out of every single building that she goes into. But she is turning into a heel slowly but surely. She is a natural heel.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey is a natural heel,
bitch.
and you've gotta. He said it, not me.
It's true.
You've got to take advantage of somebody's natural personality and character traits. It does not look natural when Ronda Rousey smiles. It looks natural when she has that mean mug face on, though. Think about that, Vince.
That's
Think
true.
about
That's
that.
true.
Well, remember, you're also Vince. You're not going to be having just casual and also hardcore wrestling fans, but you're also going to get MMA fans and non-wrestling fans to watch this because Rousey's in the card. So also think about that too.
True. Okay, so moving on to the final announced main event of WrestleMania. Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles dream match. We've been waiting for this for a long time.
So good.
Ryan, I'll let you start. Who do you think wins?
They're not going to get the time they need and they deserve because we put 14 matches on this damn card.
13.
14. We all know Undertaker and John Cena is happening. And if they don't, it's going to at least take 20 minutes. But it's Shinsuke Nakamura winning.
This should be the showstopper, or should I say the show stealer?
Show ender.
It's the show ender, and this is where the show needs to get credit. So they're gonna have an awesome match. So I'm gonna go with Nakamura.
I'm going to go AJ Styles gets his WrestleMania moment. I think AJ Styles wins the title. Nakamura only been WWE for a year. I think that's it. So I think Styles, I think it's more about Styles getting his moment. And John Cena kind of hinted at that a little bit on Raw with his promo. He said that AJ Styles gets his WrestleMania moment.
He got it last year against Shane.
No, that's different. This is the WWE champion. You're the WWE champion. Everyone's wanted him to be WWE champion. I think he wins the match. I think
His WrestleMania moment is a classic 30-minute match with Nakamura with
And he
Nakamura
wins.
winning.
Oh, well, we'll see.
That's his
we will see.
WrestleMania
We will see. We
moment.
disagree. But no matter what, this match is gonna be great. That's all
Austin
that
didn't win
matters.
his match, but you know what? He got his WrestleMania moment.
True. And then so the unannounced main event of the evening. This will be the last one we talk about because it's the last match we possibly can talk about. The Undertaker and John Cena. Number one, does it happen?
Yes.
Does it happen?
Yes.
At the very end of the show.
I'm not so sure about that, but if it does, I think the Undertaker wins, right?
Yeah, you got to
Undertaker
get Taker,
wins.
but I think we may get Taker Cena too next year.
You have to. Yeah, I think no matter we'll see what kind of shape he's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that the Undertaker will at least show up. I'm not 100% on board with him actually being in a wrestling match. I think the build, it'd be weird to just have him throw him in a match.
Well,
I guess at the end, if it happened, that'd be cool.
With all that taunting and all that insult that Cena has been trying to, give to Undertaker, I think Undertaker's just gonna lash out on all his anger on Cena and just beat the living crap out of him.
And I would have no problem seeing that. Yeah. That would be one of my favorite WrestleMania moments.
Seeing him suffer.
Real quickly, guys, I wanted to talk about this real quickly, and I actually want to mention this on Ryan Rants. WrestleMania is so long, and I've heard talk over the past few years. I've mentioned it 800 times because it's true.
This is an opinion right here.
I've heard people say WrestleMania should be 2 days, and I think it should be. I think WrestleMania should be 1 day. You have a few big matches, okay, and maybe you have the women's Royal Rumble winner on Saturday, so that way that can be highlighted. And then on Sunday you have the rest of your matches. You do NXT on Friday. You do the Hall of Fame on Thursday. Maybe you don't do a full Monday and Tuesday Raw and SmackDown.
That is way too much change. There's no way that's happening.
I think a 2-day WrestleMania is the way to go. 14 matches in 1 day is wrestling overkill.
Like a men's and women's WrestleMania?
No men's and women's. I'm talking about you would have more of a spotlight for the Cruiserweight match on a Saturday night, and it would have more time to breathe and get the time it deserves than to have a 15 to 20-minute pre-show match. Because that, even if it is on the pre-show, it's going to be limited, too, because they've got time restraints on everything.
So 2 different venues?
I think same venue.
So
same
one
venue.
stadium, 2 different days, people are showing up.
I think
more money too for them too.
I don't know, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't
think that's the best idea.
I think that might happen in the future, but I don't see it coming anytime soon. Even if people don't like it.
There's no way they're switching around Raw, SmackDown, the Hall of Fame moving to Thursday. It's supposed to be a weekend thing. The Hall of Fame, those guys don't want to show up on a Thursday. The NXT show, you'd be knocking that down a little bit because I don't know. You just
NXT just feels like it'll be great on a Friday.
I think it's good the way.
I think it'll be perfect.
I mentioned
on a
this to
Friday
you
night.
before you had to leave and go look for your wallet. But,
yeah.
That you're making a big deal about 7 hours. Normally the show's 6. So what's the difference between 1 extra hour? Does that mean that there needs to be 2 shows? I personally don't think so.
Less is more, man. Less is more. WrestleMania 31 had 7 matches on the card. It was great. WrestleMania 30, I don't think had that many matches either. If you look back at it, the best shows, in my opinion, have the least amount of matches because those matches have time to breathe and you can actually have psychology in a story. It's difficult to do that when they say, okay, you've got 10, 15 minutes. Then you've got to get into your stuff really quick and you're trying to get your stuff in before, you go out because you want
stuff in.
Because you want everybody your shit in because you want everybody everybody wants to it's WrestleMania, whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah, everybody wants to be remembered at WrestleMania. Anyway, we have now hit 2 hours.
We're at the 2-hour mark.
We have now hit the pre-show mark. You can listen to
5
us.
more hours of WrestleMania.
Yeah, so you can listen to us instead of watching that pre-show besides Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. So you can take a break, listen to us, and watch that match, and then come back and listen to the Ring Generals before WrestleMania.
Yes. Appreciate all the followers. Appreciate all the views. But hey, raise a glass to the Ring Generals and raise a glass to freaking WrestleMania weekend.
Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, I wanted to give a quick shout out. Happy birthday. We're recording this on his birthday. My homie Alfred. Happy birthday to you, homie. You've been a great friend. All right. So, gentlemen, raise a glass in the sky and salute the Ring General.